The Roman Empire, a gentle journey through time. Approximate 7,000 characters. The story begins. Long ago, under the warm Mediterranean sun, there flourished a mighty empire, one that would shape the course of history and leave behind a legacy that still whispers through ancient stones and forgotten roads. It was the Roman Empire, an empire of marble columns, bustling forums, and wide, paved roads that stretched endlessly toward distant horizons. But tonight, we will not march with armies nor hear the clang of swords. Tonight, we drift gently, slowly, through the quiet moments of Rome, through her soft evenings, peaceful gardens, and calm seas, into the tranquil heart of an empire at rest. Imagine now, you are walking along a quiet Roman street. The sun is setting, casting golden light upon the terracotta rooftops and tall columns that line the avenues. The air is sweet with the scent of olive trees and freshly baked bread from a nearby bakery, its warmth still lingering in the air. Your sandals make a soft tapping sound on the carefully laid stone road, each step steady and slow. The hustle of the day is over. The market stalls are closing, and the soft murmur of voices drifts lazily in the distance as people return to their homes. Rome, the eternal city, breathes in the calm of evening. You pass through a small archway and find yourself in a quiet courtyard where a fountain gently trickles, the sound like a lullaby. Marble statues stand watch, their features worn smooth by time but still graceful and serene. The sky above fades from gold to a soft purple, stars beginning to peek out one by one, their gentle twinkle joining the soothing rhythm of the fountain's water. You sit on a stone bench, feeling the cool surface beneath you, and close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the calmness that surrounds you. Far away, beyond the 7 hills, the great aqueducts continue their silent work, bringing fresh, cool water from the mountains to the city. They arch gracefully across the countryside, their stones bathed in soft moonlight, their journey as endless as the empire's dreams. Through these aqueducts, life flows gently into Rome, feeding her fountains, her baths, her gardens. It is a quiet river in the sky, a silent companion to the sleeping city. The Grand Colosseum, that mighty amphitheater, now rests beneath the stars. Its stone walls, which once echoed with cheers and stories of valor, now embrace silence. Ivy slowly climbs its ancient walls, and the breeze drifts softly through its arches, telling no tales, asking nothing. It stands as a gentle guardian of memories, its mighty form now softened by the years, a monument not to battles, but to time itself. As you wander through the peaceful streets, you come upon a villa, its gates open, its garden alive with the fragrance of lavender and rosemary. The villa belongs to an old Roman scholar, a kind man named Marcus, who spends his twilight years reading scrolls and tending to his olive trees. Marcus welcomes you with a soft smile, his toga draped loosely over his shoulder, his steps unhurried. His voice, calm and warm, invites you to sit with him beneath the pergola where grapevines twist lazily overhead. "Come," Marcus says softly, "let us speak of gentle things, of quiet days and soft nights." He pours you a cup of honeyed wine, sweet and smooth, and as the stars shimmer above, he shares stories, not of conquest, but of the simple rhythms of Roman life. Of farmers tending to golden fields of wheat as cicadas sing their summer songs. Of fishermen casting their nets into the calm morning seas. Of bakers rising before the sun to knead dough, filling the air with the comforting aroma of fresh bread. He tells you of Roman gardens, where the soft trickle of fountains and the shade of laurel trees offer a sanctuary from the heat of the day. In these gardens, the people of Rome walk slowly, their minds at ease, their hearts untroubled. They speak quietly of philosophy, of the stars, of the sweet simplicity of shared bread and quiet company. As Marcus speaks, his words flow like a slow river, each syllable carrying you deeper into relaxation. You listen as he describes the warm baths of Rome, where the waters soothe tired muscles, and the steam rises like morning mist, wrapping the bather in a gentle cocoon of comfort. You can almost feel the warmth of the water, the softness of a linen towel, the simple peace of being present in this moment. The moon climbs higher, and the gentle night air grows cooler. Marcus leads you to the villa's terrace, where the city stretches softly before you, its streets quiet, its lamps flickering like sleepy fireflies. In the distance, the Tiber River glimmers under the moonlight, its waters calm and unhurried, flowing endlessly toward the sea. From the terrace, you can see the temples of Rome, their columns standing tall and still, their stones warmed by centuries of sunlight and cooled by countless nights like this one. They rest now, bathed in silver light, their silent strength a comfort to all who gaze upon them. The temple bells are quiet. The prayers have all been whispered. Now there is only peace. Marcus bids you good night with a gentle nod, his footsteps soft as he disappears into his home. You remain on the terrace a little longer, breathing in the cool air scented with jasmine and ancient stone. A gentle breeze brushes against your skin, carrying with it the softest whispers of the past, the memories of 1,000 quiet evenings like this one. In the distance, the countryside stretches out in peaceful silence. Vineyards and olive groves lie beneath the velvet sky, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. The Roman roads, those endless, carefully paved paths, shine faintly under the moonlight, leading away from the city, toward quiet villages and distant hills where shepherds watch over their sleeping flocks. You close your eyes, letting the peaceful rhythm of the Roman night lull you deeper into comfort. The slow trickle of the fountain, the soft rustle of vines, the gentle hush of the sleeping city, all wrap around you like a warm, soft blanket. In this moment, there is no hurry, no battles to fight, no triumphs to chase. Only the quiet heartbeat of an empire at rest. The Roman Empire, grand and eternal, settles softly into the night, its roads and temples, its villas and gardens, all breathing in harmony beneath the stars. You find yourself walking slowly back through the quiet streets, past marble statues and shaded courtyards, past sleeping homes and silent columns. The city, so vast in the daylight, feels close and comforting now, as if the stones themselves are gently guiding you to rest. Your steps grow slower, your breath steady and calm. The distant sound of the Tiber's flowing waters follows you like a lullaby. Each step, each breath, leads you gently toward the peaceful shores of sleep. The story of Rome continues, far beyond this night, its echoes carried on the breeze, its stones warmed by the rising sun. But for now, you rest. You are part of this quiet Rome, a city of soft evenings, starry skies, and timeless peace. And as you drift deeper into rest, you carry with you the stillness of the Roman night, the calm of its gardens, the softness of its distant bells, and the gentle rhythm of its endless roads. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 2, The Roman Empire, a journey along the silent roads. The story begins. As the soft blush of dawn rises over the ancient city of Rome, the world stirs gently, and the eternal city glows beneath the touch of the morning light. This is not a day of grand battles, nor a day of loud triumphs. It is a quiet day, a day of simple footsteps, of steady breathing, of soft voices, and the tender rhythm of life that flows through the Roman Empire like a gentle river. You are a traveler today, a wanderer along the silent roads, and your journey will take you not to war, but to peace, to the soft corners of Rome where time itself walks slowly. You begin your day near the Appian Way, one of the great roads of Rome. The stones beneath your feet have been worn smooth by centuries of travelers. Merchants, poets, soldiers, and dreamers have all passed this way, their footsteps leaving behind the softest echoes. The morning air is cool, sweetened by the distant scent of cypress trees and the faint aroma of fresh bread rising from village ovens. As you walk, your sandals tap gently upon the ancient stones, each step steady, unhurried, bringing you further into the quiet heart of Rome. The countryside stretches around you in golden hues. Fields of wheat sway lazily in the breeze, their stalks whispering secrets to the wind. Olive trees stand in neat rows, their silvery leaves shimmering softly in the morning sun. Vineyards climb the rolling hills, their grapes plump and ready, their vines twisting like gentle threads of time. The land breathes slowly here. Everything moves in a rhythm of calm. Farmers tend to their fields with careful hands, their faces peaceful, their days unfolding in soft, steady circles. In the distance, a villa rests atop a hill, its red-tiled roof glowing warmly under the sky. The villa belongs to a Roman family who spends their days cultivating the land and enjoying the quiet gifts of nature. As you approach, the family welcomes you, inviting you to join them for a simple breakfast in their garden. Beneath a pergola draped with climbing vines, you sit among them, sharing fresh bread, sweet figs, soft cheese, and honeyed wine. Their conversation is gentle, their laughter soft, their lives unburdened by haste. The father of the family, Lucius, speaks of his days tending olive groves, of walking the same paths his father once walked, of listening to the birds in the morning and watching the sun sink gently behind the hills each evening. His voice is steady, like the slow turning of the seasons. His daughter, Julia, gathers lavender and rosemary from the garden, weaving them into fragrant bundles. Her hands move with delicate care, her smile peaceful and kind. After breakfast, you continue your journey, walking along a shaded path lined with tall pines and laurel trees. The birds sing softly above you, their songs drifting lazily through the air. The wind carries the scent of wildflowers and the distant hint of the sea. Along the way, you pass small shrines, their stone altars adorned with simple offerings, fresh flowers, ripe fruit, and small coins left by travelers who, like you, have walked these roads seeking peace. You come upon a quiet river, its waters sparkling gently beneath the midday sun. The river flows calmly, its surface smooth, its current slow and soothing. A fisherman casts his net, his motions fluid, his breath steady. He waves to you, his face creased with the softness of many peaceful years. You pause by the riverbank, sitting upon a flat stone warmed by the sun, and watch the gentle ripples as they drift away, carrying the weight of time, carrying the stories of Rome. The fisherman tells you of his simple life, of days spent by the river, of nights spent under the stars, of meals shared with his family in their quiet home. His words are like the river, flowing steadily, unhurried, full of the sweet comfort of a life well lived. You listen, breathing in the peace that surrounds you, feeling the calm of the water settle into your own bones. As the afternoon light softens, you resume your journey, walking slowly toward a small village nestled among the hills. The village is alive with gentle sounds, the soft clang of a blacksmith's hammer shaping iron with quiet rhythm, the rustle of linen as it dries in the sun, the soft hum of a woman spinning wool on her spindle. The people of the village move with calm purpose, their days woven together like threads in a fine Roman tapestry. In the village square, you find a storyteller, an old woman named Antonia, seated beneath a grand olive tree whose twisted branches offer cool shade. Children gather at her feet, their eyes wide, their hearts open. You join them, sitting comfortably upon a smooth stone as Antonia begins to weave her tales. Not tales of war, but of gods and rivers, of gardens and stars, of the quiet magic found in the ordinary moments of life. Her voice is soft, her words flowing like a lullaby. She speaks of Luna, the goddess of the moon, who glides across the night sky in her silver chariot, watching over the sleeping world. She tells of Vesta, goddess of the hearth, who brings warmth and comfort to every Roman home. Her stories drift around you like soft petals on the breeze, each one carrying you deeper into tranquility. The sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. You walk again, this time toward the sea. The road winds gently, and the sound of the waves grows nearer with each step. When you arrive, you find a quiet shore, its sands cool beneath your feet, its waters whispering softly as they kiss the shore again and again, their rhythm as steady as your breath. You sit by the sea, letting the salt air brush gently against your skin. The waves move like a heartbeat, soft, steady, endless. Roman ships rest in the distance, their sails lowered, their anchors set. The sailors, too, are at rest now, their voices quiet, their minds calm. The sea carries you further into peace, its vastness wrapping around you like a soft blanket, its rhythm guiding you gently toward rest. Night falls slowly over the Roman Empire, draping the sky in velvet darkness, scattering stars like silver coins upon a merchant's table. The roads grow quiet, the villas and villages bathed in the soft glow of oil lamps. You walk once more, feeling the cool stones beneath your feet, hearing the faint songs of crickets and the rustle of olive branches in the breeze. You pass by a Roman bathhouse, where warm waters flow gently, steam rising like morning mist. The baths are calm now, their waters still, their walls echoing only the soft whispers of those who have come here seeking comfort. You imagine stepping into the warm embrace of the waters, letting them cradle you, letting their warmth dissolve all tension, all weight, until you feel as light as the evening breeze. Your path leads you toward a garden where stone benches rest beneath the shade of tall cypress trees. In this garden, philosophers have sat in quiet thought, poets have composed soft verses, lovers have shared silent moments. You sit upon one of the benches, the cool stone grounding you, the scent of jasmine and laurel filling the air. The night wraps around you gently, and you feel the peaceful heartbeat of the Roman Empire beneath your feet. The Tiber River glimmers nearby, its waters moving slowly under the watchful gaze of the moon. The temples of Rome stand still, their grand columns casting long shadows in the silver light. The city, once filled with the busy hum of daily life, now rests, its breath slow and deep, its roads quiet, its people wrapped in the gentle arms of sleep. Your eyes grow heavy as you sit in the garden, your breath deep and calm. The story of the Roman Empire continues, flowing like the river, stretching like the roads, resting like the stones. But tonight, your journey pauses here, in the soft heart of Rome, where peace reigns, where the stars shimmer like old friends, where each breath carries you deeper into rest. You walk slowly now, back along the quiet roads, past the sleeping villas and the peaceful squares, past the silent shrines and the resting ships. Each step is lighter, each breath softer, each sound a gentle lullaby guiding you toward the shores of sleep. The Roman Empire rests. The roads, the gardens, the fountains, the rivers, all are still, wrapped in the calm of the night. And you rest with them, your journey carried softly by the whispers of the breeze, by the rhythm of the waves, by the endless peace of the silent Roman roads. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 3, The Roman Empire, the Whispering Gardens of Rome. The story begins. There is a place in ancient Rome where time moves slowly, where the world softens, and the days unfold like the delicate petals of a blooming flower. It is not a place of war nor of grand triumphs. It is a garden, hidden behind tall stone walls, where the busy heartbeat of the empire fades to a calm, steady rhythm. This garden, known to only a few, is where philosophers once walked, where poets sat in thoughtful silence, where travelers found a moment of rest beneath the gentle shade of laurel trees. You awaken in the soft light of early morning, the first rays of the sun stretching tenderly across the marble floor of your quiet room. A gentle breeze drifts through the open window, carrying with it the fresh scent of lavender and damp earth. Outside, the city of Rome stirs slowly. There is no hurry here, only the peaceful unfolding of another simple day. The distant sound of soft footsteps on stone streets, the fluttering wings of doves as they rise into the pale sky, the faint chiming of bells, all greet you like an old friend. Your sandals rest beside your bed, their leather worn smooth from many peaceful walks. You slip them on and step outside into a quiet courtyard where the morning dew still clings to the petals of white roses. A fountain bubbles softly at the center, its waters sparkling as they catch the light. The sound is like a lullaby, calm and steady, soothing your breath and guiding your thoughts to a place of ease. You begin your journey through the silent gardens of Rome, your pace unhurried, your steps light upon the soft gravel paths. The sky is a soft blue, streaked gently with the fading blush of dawn. Cypress trees stand tall along the path, their shadows stretching lazily across the ground. Birds sing sweet, slow songs in the distance, their melodies rising and falling like the calm rhythm of your breathing. As you walk, you pass marble statues resting among the greenery, their faces serene, their eyes forever cast toward the sky. These statues do not tell stories of war. They speak only of beauty, of stillness, of the quiet grace that lingers in the forgotten corners of the empire. Ivy wraps itself gently around their forms, softening the edges of stone with tender green leaves. You come upon a grove of olive trees, their silver leaves rustling softly in the breeze. Beneath one of these ancient trees sits an old gardener named Flavius. His hands are worn and strong, his movements slow and careful as he tends to the roots, brushing away the fallen leaves, gently watering the earth. He greets you with a warm smile, his eyes filled with the calm wisdom of someone who has spent many years in the company of growing things. "Welcome, traveler," he says in a voice as smooth as the river's flow. "This is a place of quiet hearts and peaceful steps. You are welcome to walk as slowly as you wish." Flavius invites you to join him as he moves through the garden, guiding you past lavender bushes heavy with fragrant blooms, past rosemary that perfumes the air, past figs that ripen in the gentle sunlight. He tells you stories, not of emperors or armies, but of seeds that grow patiently, of flowers that bloom in their own time, of the soft rains that nourish the earth. His words are like soft waves lapping at the shore, each one carrying you deeper into rest. He speaks of the bees that hum lazily from blossom to blossom, their golden bodies dusted with pollen. He speaks of the small lizards that bask upon the warm stones, unmoving, content. He tells you that the garden grows because it is given time, because it is cared for with gentle hands and quiet hearts. The garden paths lead you to a small pond where water lilies float upon the still surface, their petals open to the sun. The water is so calm, so clear, that you can see the smooth stones resting beneath its surface, undisturbed, untouched. You sit by the pond, letting the warmth of the day settle around you like a soft cloak. Flavius sits beside you, sharing sweet figs and soft bread, his company light and comforting, his silence as soothing as his words. As the day unfolds, you walk deeper into the garden, where stone benches rest beneath the shade of tall oaks. You pause to watch the sunlight filter through the leaves, painting dappled patterns upon the ground. The air is cool here, the sound soft and distant, the gentle murmur of the fountain, the rustle of leaves, the faint chirping of crickets in the underbrush. All around you, the garden seems to breathe, to sigh softly, as if it too is resting. Further along the path, you find a scholar named Sabina, seated upon a low stone wall, a scroll resting upon her lap. She looks up and smiles softly, her eyes kind and curious. She has spent many days in this garden, reading by the light of the morning sun, thinking beneath the silver glow of the moon, listening to the soft rhythms of the earth. Sabina tells you stories of the stars, of how the philosophers of Rome would gaze into the night sky and wonder about the shape of the world, the path of the planets, the gentle pull of the tides. She speaks of the slow turning of the heavens, of the peaceful certainty that the stars will always rise, will always shine, will always guide those who walk beneath their light. Her voice is calm and steady, a soft thread weaving through the quiet air. She tells you that the Romans believe in the comfort of simple things, the warmth of fresh bread, the sweetness of ripe fruit, the soothing sound of water, the stillness of the garden. She speaks of the Villa of Livia, where painted walls show blooming gardens that never fade, where time stands still, where peace lingers forever. The afternoon light grows golden, wrapping the garden in its soft embrace. You and Sabina walk together past gentle streams, over small stone bridges, past tall reeds that sway in the breeze. The world is slow here. The heart beats gently, the breath flows easily, the mind drifts calmly like a leaf upon the water. You pause beneath a pergola covered in grapevines, their clusters hanging low and sweet. The shadows are long now, stretching softly across the garden floor. Sabina offers you a cup of cool water, its surface catching the fading light like liquid silver. The coolness of the water refreshes you, and you feel the peaceful rhythm of the garden settle deeper within you. As evening approaches, Flavius returns, his slow steps brushing gently against the gravel path. Together, you walk toward the edge of the garden where a stone terrace overlooks the quiet city of Rome. The rooftops glow softly under the setting sun, their terracotta tiles bathed in warm amber light. The streets are calm now, the markets closed, the voices hushed, the city breathing in the peace of twilight. Below, you see the Tiber River, its waters flowing steadily, its surface smooth and calm, reflecting the soft hues of the evening sky. The grand temples stand silent, their tall columns casting long shadows across the stone squares. The bells have stopped ringing, their final notes lingering in the air like gentle echoes. The garden wraps around you like a tender embrace, its scents of lavender and jasmine filling the air, its sounds a soothing chorus of distant waters and whispering leaves. The stars begin to appear, their faint light shimmering above the silent rooftops, their gentle presence a reminder that the world continues to turn, that the night has come, that it is time to rest. You walk slowly now, your breath steady and soft, your steps light upon the path. Flavius and Sabina bid you farewell with warm smiles, their hands resting gently upon their hearts, their voices wishing you a night of peaceful dreams. You walk alone through the final stretch of the garden, past the quiet pond, past the fragrant flowers, past the marble statues who continue their silent watch. The garden gates open, and you step once more into the soft streets of Rome. The lamps glow faintly, their light golden and kind, their warmth guiding you through the calm night. The city is at rest, its roads empty, its homes quiet, its people embraced by sleep. Your footsteps grow slower, your breathing deeper, your heart softer. The stories of the garden, of Flavius, of Sabina, of the quiet flowers and the still waters, all accompany you as you walk toward your own place of rest. The story of Rome continues, stretching far beyond this night, flowing like the Tiber, growing like the vines, resting like the stones. And you, traveler, find your peace within it. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 4, The Roman Empire, a peaceful voyage on the Tiber River. The story begins. There are journeys that move quickly, where the roads are hurried and the steps are many. But there are also journeys that move slowly, where the river guides you gently, where each ripple is a quiet breath, where time stretches like the calm waters beneath a Roman sky. This is one of those journeys, a soft, peaceful voyage along the Tiber River, flowing slowly through the heart of the Roman Empire. You begin your day as the sun rises tenderly over Rome, painting the sky with the faintest shades of pink and gold. The streets are still, the stones cool beneath your feet, the air fresh and light. The grand city rests quietly as the first light touches the rooftops, the domes, the temples. Your sandals make a gentle tapping sound as you walk slowly toward the riverbank, where a small wooden boat waits for you, its ropes loosely tied, its sail folded like the wings of a resting bird. The boat's captain, a kind man named Gaius, greets you with a slow smile and calm eyes. His weathered hands, steady and sure, untie the boat, and he invites you aboard with a nod. There is no need for words here. The river will speak. The river will guide. Gaius's boat is simple and quiet, its surface smooth, its motion gentle as it glides away from the dock, leaving the sleeping city behind. The Tiber welcomes you, its waters cool and soft, its current slow and steady. The boat moves as if carried by a soft breeze, the oars dipping into the river with the lightest touch. You sit upon a cushion near the stern, the sun warming your shoulders, the sweet scent of the river drifting all around you. The sound of the oars, dipping and rising, becomes a soothing rhythm, a heartbeat of the voyage. As the boat glides downstream, the city of Rome drifts by on either side. Tall stone buildings rise above the banks, their windows still closed, their walls warmed by centuries of sunlight. Bridges stretch across the river like gentle arms, their arches reflected in the still waters below. The markets are quiet now, their stalls folded, their tables empty, waiting for the hum of another busy day. Gaius tells you of his life upon the river, of the many journeys he has made, of the people he has met, of the soft mornings and the peaceful evenings spent upon the gentle Tiber. His voice is low and smooth, each word carefully placed, like stones set in a quiet garden path. He speaks of the fishermen who cast their nets in the early dawn, their lines trailing in the calm waters, their boat swaying softly like leaves upon the river's surface. The boat passes beneath a low stone bridge, the sound of the oars echoing briefly beneath the arch. The air grows cooler here, the shade a soft embrace. Vines drape over the stone walls, their green tendrils trailing toward the water. Birds nest among the stones, their wings brushing gently against the ivy, their soft songs rising to greet the morning sky. Beyond the bridge, the city begins to fade, giving way to quiet gardens and villas that rest along the river's edge. The grand structures are softened by time, their walls wrapped in blooming jasmine and wildflowers. The villas seem to sleep, their courtyards empty, their fountains trickling softly, their marble statues resting beneath the shade of tall trees. Gaius steers the boat toward the gentle bend in the river, his hands moving slowly, his breath calm and steady. He points toward a small island at the river's center, its banks lined with smooth stones, its trees swaying gently in the breeze. The boat drifts toward the island, the oars resting quietly now, the river carrying you forward with its patient hands. The island is peaceful, its surface soft with grass, its paths worn smooth by the quiet steps of those who have come here seeking rest. Gaius anchors the boat and invites you to step ashore. Your feet touch the cool earth, and you feel the stillness of the island wrapping around you like a soft blanket. The sounds of the city are distant now, softened by the trees, by the breeze, by the endless rhythm of the river's flow. You walk slowly along the narrow path, past olive trees and flowering bushes, past small stone benches that welcome the weary traveler. The air is sweet here, filled with the scent of blooming rosemary and lavender. The island is known to the Romans as a place of healing, a place where time moves gently, where hearts grow lighter, where the soul finds peace. In the center of the island stands a small temple, its stone columns simple, its steps worn smooth by many careful feet. The temple is quiet now, its door open, its altar adorned with fresh flowers and soft bundles of herbs. You sit upon the temple's stone steps, feeling their cool surface beneath you, breathing in the calm that settles like mist upon the air. The priestess of the temple, a gentle woman named Livia, approaches with a warm smile. She carries a small bowl of sweet water, offering it to you with soft hands. Her voice, like the breeze, speaks of peace, of rest, of the soft turning of the days. She tells you that this temple, this island, is a place where burdens are set down, where the heart may rest, where each breath is a quiet offering to the slow, gentle rhythm of life. You remain there for a time, watching the river flow steadily past, its surface smooth, its song soft. The clouds drift lazily overhead, their shapes changing slowly, their edges glowing in the warm sunlight. The breeze stirs the leaves, the birds sing softly, and the water flows on, carrying the stories of the Roman Empire toward the waiting sea. When the time feels right, you rise and return to the boat, where Gaius waits with his calm smile and steady hands. He casts off, and the boat drifts once more into the embrace of the river. The oars dip gently, their sound a soft rhythm that guides you forward, a sound that settles into your breath, into your heartbeat, into the quiet spaces of your mind. The journey continues, the boat gliding past quiet fields where farmers tend to their crops, their movements slow and steady, their voices soft and low. Children play by the water's edge, their laughter floating gently through the air, their games unhurried, their steps light upon the grass. The vineyards stretch across the hills, their leaves shimmering softly, their grapes heavy with promise. The river winds gently, its path a slow and careful curve through the peaceful countryside. You pass groves of fig trees, their branches heavy with fruit, their leaves casting soft shadows upon the water. You pass small shrines, their simple stones adorned with offerings of flowers and sweet cakes, their silence a gentle welcome. As the sun begins its slow descent, the light turns golden, wrapping the river in a warm, soft glow. The air cools, and the breeze carries the scent of the evening, of fresh herbs, of distant fires, of ripening fruit. Gaius speaks little now, his eyes calm, his hands steady upon the oars, his breath in perfect rhythm with the river's gentle pulse. You pass once more beneath the low stone bridges, their arches now bathed in the soft light of the setting sun. The city returns slowly, its rooftops glowing, its streets quiet, its walls warmed by the fading day. The lamps are lit along the riverbank, their light flickering like distant stars, their reflections dancing upon the surface of the water. The boat glides smoothly back to the dock where your journey began. Gaius secures the ropes, his movements careful, his hands firm. He bids you farewell with a simple nod, his eyes kind, his voice soft as he wishes you a night of restful dreams. You step onto the dock, your footsteps light upon the wooden planks, your breath deep and even, your heart wrapped in the calm of the voyage. The streets are quiet now, the city resting beneath a velvet sky sprinkled with stars. The Tiber continues to flow, its waters moving steadily, its surface smooth, its song soft. You walk slowly through the silent streets, past stone columns, past quiet fountains, past doorways gently lit by the warm glow of oil lamps. Each step carries you closer to rest, each breath carries you deeper into peace. The river's rhythm lingers within you, its gentle current guiding you toward the shores of sleep. The story of the Roman Empire flows on, winding gently through the hearts of those who walk its roads, who rest upon its waters, who listen to the soft songs of its quiet nights. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 5, The Roman Empire, a stroll through the baths of Caracalla. The story begins. In the grand tapestry of the Roman Empire, woven with golden threads of triumph and wide roads stretching to the edges of the known world, there are also quiet places where time moves slowly, where the heart is unburdened, and where peace flows as steadily as a gentle stream. One of these places is the great baths of Caracalla, where the people of Rome come not to conquer, but to rest, to soak, to breathe, to drift gently in warm waters beneath soft marble arches. It is early morning in Rome. The city is only just beginning to stir, its streets touched by the tender blush of dawn. You rise from your soft linen bed, the coolness of the marble floor beneath your feet anchoring you gently to the moment. The soft, faraway sounds of merchants preparing their stalls and the quiet cooing of doves drift through your open window. The air is fresh, holding the faint scent of laurel and wet stone. Your sandals wait by the door. You slip them on, feeling their familiar fit, and begin your slow, steady walk toward the baths of Caracalla. The streets are calm, their ancient stones worn smooth by the footsteps of many before you. As you pass under shaded colonnades, the distant sound of flowing fountains accompanies you, their song soft and welcoming. The baths of Caracalla rise before you, grand and serene. Their arches soar into the soft morning sky, their mosaic floors glisten faintly as sunlight streams through tall open windows. This is a place of quiet gathering, of slow conversations, of warm water and gentle steam. Here, the people of Rome leave behind the weight of their busy days and step into the soothing rhythm of the baths. You enter through a grand archway, greeted by the soft echo of your own footsteps. The air is rich with the mingled scents of fragrant oils, lavender, rosemary, sweet orange, and the soft mineral tang of warm water. Attendants move slowly through the hall, their voices hushed, their movements unhurried. One offers you a soft linen cloth, another hands you a small vial of perfumed oil. Their smiles are calm and kind. Your journey begins in the apoditerium, the grand changing room, where marble benches rest along the walls and the morning light falls in gentle stripes upon the stone floor. You place your belongings carefully in a small alcove, feeling the lightness of setting aside the weight of the day, even if only for a while. Already, your breath begins to slow, your shoulders to ease, your mind to soften. From here, you step into the tepidarium, the warm chamber. The air is cozy, wrapped in gentle steam that rises and drifts lazily toward the high vaulted ceilings. You lower yourself into the warm pool, the water embracing you like soft silk, its warmth seeping gently into your skin, your muscles, your very breath. Around you, others sit quietly, their faces serene, their conversations hushed like the rustling of leaves. The walls glisten with soft mosaic tiles, their patterns delicate and soothing. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the gentle trickle of fountains, the distant echo of soft voices, the calming lap of water against marble edges. Each breath becomes deeper, each moment more peaceful, as if the warmth itself carries away the weight of thoughts and time. When you are ready, you move slowly into the caldarium, the hot chamber. Here, the air is thick with soothing steam, fragrant with eucalyptus and rosemary. The stone walls hold the heat like a gentle cradle, wrapping you in their warmth. You sit upon a smooth bench, the heat seeping into your back, your legs, your hands. The water of the pool here is deeper, warmer, its surface shimmering softly in the golden light that filters through a high round window. An attendant offers you a small wooden ladle, pouring warm water over your shoulders, each slow pour guiding you deeper into calm. The heat softens you, encourages each breath to stretch longer, each heartbeat to steady. The stone beneath you is warm, the steam a tender veil wrapping you in comfort. You feel the soft pulse of the caldarium guiding you gently inward, where silence and stillness wait like old friends. After some time, you move slowly, unhurriedly, to the frigidarium, the cool chamber. The air here is fresh, crisp, the water in the pool clear and inviting. You lower yourself gently, feeling the coolness awaken your senses, a soft reminder of balance. The pool is quiet, its surface smooth like glass. The gentle chill is not harsh, it refreshes, it soothes, it gathers the warmth of the journey and wraps it in a delicate calm. You float for a time, the cool water supporting you, holding you, guiding you. Above, the high ceilings arch gracefully, and the sounds of the world feel distant here, softened by the embrace of stone and water. The frigidarium, though cool, is a place of stillness, a place where thoughts settle, where peace lingers upon your skin like soft mist. Leaving the cool water behind, you step into a quiet garden at the edge of the baths. Cypress and olive trees sway gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering softly. The stone paths wind through beds of lavender and white roses, their fragrance calming, their colors soft beneath the pale sky. Marble benches offer a place to rest, and you sit comfortably upon one, feeling the lingering warmth of the sun upon the stone. A servant brings you a small wooden tray with fresh figs, warm bread, sweet honey, and a cup of cool water. You savor each bite slowly, the sweetness of the figs, the softness of the bread, the light floral note of the honey. You sip the water, feeling its coolness settle within you like a calm ripple. A scholar named Tullia sits nearby, his voice soft as he shares stories of the baths, of how emperors and farmers alike come here to find rest, to share quiet moments, to leave behind their burdens. He speaks of the architects who built the grand arches, who carved the marble, who laid the soft mosaics, each stone a quiet echo of care and patience. His words drift gently through the garden air, carried by the breeze like the fluttering petals of jasmine. You walk slowly through the garden with Tullius, passing fountains where small birds come to sip, passing olive trees heavy with fruit, passing statues whose faces are worn smooth by time. He tells you of the rhythms of Roman life, not the grand battles, but the quiet rituals, the tending of gardens, the baking of bread, the careful pressing of olives into golden oil, the peaceful walks beneath the evening sky. The sun begins its slow descent, and the baths take on the soft glow of late afternoon. The steam rises in delicate ribbons from the warm pools, the stone arches catch the golden light, and the shadows grow longer and softer. The people of the baths speak in hushed voices, their movements slow, their hearts at rest. You return to the tepidarium once more, settling into the warm waters, letting the softness of the moment cradle you. The water laps gently at the edges, the sound folding around you like a tender melody. The walls, adorned with soft mosaics of vines and flowers, seem to shimmer in the fading light. Each breath you take feels lighter, each heartbeat slower, as if the baths themselves are guiding you toward peaceful sleep. The attendants bring soft linen cloths, their fabric light and comforting. You wrap yourself gently, feeling the softness against your skin, the warmth lingering within you like the soft glow of an oil lamp. You walk slowly toward the grand entrance once more, your steps light upon the mosaic floor, your breath deep and steady. The city of Rome welcomes you back, its streets bathed in the soft amber light of sunset. The sounds are few now, the distant call of a merchant, the quiet flutter of a bird's wings, the soft ripple of fountains. The air is cool, the sky painted in soft shades of rose and gold. The Tiber flows steadily, its waters catching the last light of the day, its rhythm calm and unhurried. You walk slowly through the quiet streets, past resting villas, past shaded courtyards, past temples that stand in silent reverence. Each step carries you closer to rest, each breath carries you deeper into the soft embrace of the evening. The baths of Caracalla fade behind you, but their peace lingers, a warm memory held gently within you. The story of the Roman Empire continues, flowing like the Tiber, resting like the stone benches, blooming like the jasmine in the quiet gardens. And you, gentle traveler, carry its stillness with you as you drift slowly toward the comforting shores of sleep. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 6, The Roman Empire, an evening in the villa gardens. The story begins. There are days in the Roman Empire that move with the rhythm of footsteps upon grand roads, days that echo with the bustle of busy markets, days filled with the shouts of merchants and the clanging of bronze coins. But there are also days that move slowly, days that unfold like the soft petals of a blooming flower, where time seems to drift like a feather upon the breeze. This is one of those quiet days, one spent in the gardens of a peaceful Roman villa, where the walls are high, the air is sweet, and the heart finds a steady, restful beat. The sun begins its gentle descent, casting long golden shadows across the white stone walls of the villa. The day has been warm, but now the cool breath of evening settles upon the land. You step into the garden, your sandals brushing softly against the gravel path, your pace unhurried, your mind at ease. Tall cypress trees stand like sentinels along the path, their branches swaying ever so slightly in the calm breeze. The air is fragrant with the mingling scents of rosemary, lavender, and blooming jasmine. A soft rustling sound accompanies your steps, the gentle whisper of olive branches overhead, the quiet murmur of distant fountains, the faint flutter of bird wings as they settle in for the evening. The villa belongs to Marcus, a kind Roman noble who has long valued the simple joys of tending his garden and walking among the quiet beauty of nature. Marcus greets you with a warm smile, his hands gently dusted with the soil of the day's work. He invites you to join him for a slow stroll through his garden, where time flows gently like the waters of a peaceful stream. The garden is vast, its paths winding lazily through beds of fragrant herbs, around marble fountains that sing soft lullabies, past shaded pergolas where vines hang low with sweet grapes. Each corner of the garden offers a place to pause, to breathe, to simply be. You and Marcus walk in silence for a time, the soft crunch of gravel beneath your feet becoming a soothing rhythm. The sun's warm light filters through the leaves, painting dappled patterns upon the stone benches and terracotta pots that line the paths. The sound of water trickling from a nearby fountain drifts on the breeze, a melody that wraps gently around you like a soft embrace. Marcus speaks quietly, his voice calm, his words carefully chosen. He tells you of his days spent tending to the olive trees, pruning their slender branches, waiting patiently for the fruit to ripen. He speaks of the bees that visit the lavender in the morning, their gentle hum a sign of life and balance in the garden. He shares stories of his youth, of running barefoot among the vineyards, of watching the sunsets from these very paths, always finding comfort in the slow rhythm of nature. As you continue your walk, you pass a small pond where water lilies float lazily upon the surface. The water is still, its surface smooth like polished glass. Small fish drift beneath the lilies, their movements calm and deliberate, their silver scales catching the soft evening light. The air here is cooler, shaded by tall fig trees whose branches stretch wide, their leaves forming a delicate canopy overhead. Marcus invites you to sit with him upon a stone bench by the pond. The bench is cool and smooth beneath you, its surface worn by time and by those who have sat here before you, quietly listening to the stories whispered by the wind. The garden seems to pause here, as if holding its breath, as if the world itself has settled into a gentle silence. Nearby, a young woman named Livia tends to the herb garden, her hands moving carefully as she gathers sprigs of thyme and bundles of sage. She offers you a small bunch of fresh mint, its scent bright and sweet, a gift from the garden's quiet heart. Livia smiles softly, her presence calm, her steps light upon the earth. She speaks of the herbal teas she prepares in the evenings, each cup a careful blend, each sip a soothing balm for the weary spirit. The softest breeze stirs the leaves above you, carrying with it the delicate scents of basil, chamomile, and blooming roses. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, letting the sweet air settle within you, letting the soft rhythm of the garden guide you further into calm. Marcus offers you a cup of warm, fragrant tea, its surface rippling gently as you lift it to your lips. The tea carries the taste of fresh herbs, the sweetness of honey, the warmth of the day's sun captured in each drop. As you sip, you listen to the garden's quiet chorus, the soft chirping of crickets hidden among the leaves, the gentle splash of water in the nearby fountain, the faint rustle of a lizard slipping through the underbrush. The garden paths continue, winding past marble statues draped in ivy, past low stone walls where the last rays of sunlight linger. You walk slowly, your steps soft upon the earth, your breath deep and even. The villa's walls, once bright in the midday sun, now glow with the warm hues of evening, their shadows growing longer, their edges softened by the approach of night. A pergola draped in grapevines welcomes you to rest once more. Beneath its shade, a table is set with simple fare, fresh bread, sweet figs, creamy cheese, and olives harvested from the trees you passed earlier. Marcus invites you to share this quiet meal, his voice gentle, his gratitude for your company evident in his kind eyes. The meal is slow, each bite savored, each moment stretched and sweetened by the peaceful surroundings. You listen to the soft conversation of the household staff as they prepare for the evening, their movements quiet, their hearts at ease in the rhythm of the villa's life. As the sun sinks lower, the sky shifts to soft shades of rose and lavender, the first stars beginning to appear like delicate pinpricks of light upon the canvas of dusk. The lamps around the garden are lit, their soft flames flickering gently, their glow warm and comforting. The stone pathways are bathed in the tender light, their edges golden, their shadows long and graceful. Marcus walks with you toward the garden's edge, his hands clasped behind his back, his steps slow and thoughtful. He speaks of the Roman belief in the simple beauty of the seasons, in the turning of the earth, in the quiet lessons taught by the olive tree, by the river, by the garden that asks for patience and offers peace in return. You pause together at the entrance of a small open pavilion, its marble pillars wrapped in trailing vines. Here, the soft sounds of the night begin to rise, the distant call of an owl, the quiet murmur of the Tiber River beyond the villa's walls, the gentle rustling of the garden settling into sleep. Marcus thanks you for your company, his farewell soft, his words wrapped in the warmth of a shared peaceful evening. You leave the garden slowly, your steps light, your breath deep and calm, your heart carrying the quiet rhythm of the villa within it. The streets of Rome are quiet now, their stones cooled by the evening air, their corners touched by the soft glow of lamplight. The fountains continue their gentle song, their waters glimmering in the pale light. The city, often filled with voices and hurried steps, now rests beneath the calm embrace of the night. You walk gently through these streets, each step a soft echo upon the stones, each breath a quiet note in the melody of the sleeping city. The villa and its peaceful garden remain in your thoughts, their softness a quiet guide as you move toward your own rest. The story of the Roman Empire continues, not only in grand monuments or mighty roads, but also in these simple moments, in the soft bloom of jasmine, in the quiet steps upon a gravel path, in the peaceful sipping of warm herbal tea. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 7, The Roman Empire, a day at the Library of Alexandria. The story begins. There are places in the ancient Roman Empire where the air does not rush, where voices fall to whispers, where knowledge rests patiently upon the shelves, waiting to be discovered. These places are quiet, filled with the soft scent of parchment, cedarwood, and ink. One such place is the Library of Alexandria, a treasure of the ancient world, a sanctuary where scrolls wait in peaceful silence, and the mind can drift as slowly as the soft turning of a page. Though Alexandria was part of Egypt, in the Roman Empire it flourished, gently folded into the arms of Rome, its wisdom cherished and protected. This is where your day begins, on a slow and quiet morning, where the sun rises gently above the smooth rooftops of Alexandria, casting a golden light across the calm waters of the harbor. The seagulls call softly as they float lazily in the sky, their wings catching the soft breeze that rolls in from the sea. You awaken in a modest villa near the harbor, the gentle sound of waves brushing against the stone docks soothing your first breaths of the day. The linen curtains sway lightly in the morning breeze, and the faint aroma of fresh bread drifts in from a nearby bakery. The city is not yet busy. The merchants are only beginning to arrange their stalls. The streets are cool beneath your sandals as you step outside and begin your slow journey toward the great library. The streets of Alexandria unfold calmly before you. Traders from distant lands begin to display their colorful fabrics, fragrant spices, and small, delicate trinkets. Their voices are still soft, the city still wrapped in the hush of the early morning. You pass under tall stone arches, past quiet courtyards where small fountains bubble steadily, their waters clear and inviting. As you approach the Grand Library of Alexandria, its graceful columns rise toward the pale sky, its steps wide and smooth, its walls bright and warm in the morning sun. The library welcomes all who seek knowledge, whether they come in sandals worn from travel or in fine robes brushed with gold. It is a place of rest for the mind, where one can sit for hours in gentle silence, surrounded by the quiet company of the past. The librarian, an elderly man named Callimachus, greets you at the entrance with a soft nod, his calm eyes kind and steady. His hands are lined with the creases of years spent carefully handling scrolls and papyrus, his steps slow and measured as he guides you inside. The library is vast but peaceful, its halls stretching like quiet rivers, its shelves tall and orderly, its scrolls resting patiently, wrapped in soft leather and tied with simple cords. You walk together along the smooth stone floors, the air cool and fragrant with the faint scent of cedarwood, used to protect the scrolls from age. The walls are adorned with delicate frescoes, their colors soft and warm, depicting philosophers, poets, and the serene landscapes of distant lands. The ceiling above is high and open, allowing the sunlight to pour in gently, illuminating the scrolls in soft golden light. Callimachus shows you to a quiet reading room, where wide windows look out over a calm inner garden. The garden hums softly with life, the bees drifting lazily among the lavender, the olive trees swaying gently, the marble fountains whispering their timeless songs. A low stone bench rests near the window, and you settle there comfortably, the warmth of the morning sun upon your shoulders, the cool breeze brushing lightly against your skin. Callimachus presents you with a carefully chosen scroll, its surface smooth, its words written in steady, flowing script. It is a scroll of peaceful stories, gentle histories, and calm reflections gathered from distant travelers and soft-spoken philosophers. You untie the cord, the faint crackle of parchment filling the quiet room, and begin to read. The stories drift through your mind like soft waves upon the shore, each word settling lightly, each sentence unfolding slowly, patiently, as if the scroll itself wishes to guide you toward rest. You read of gardens where time moves like honey, where the olive trees bloom without hurry. You read of small villages where the people gather under shaded porches, their conversations gentle, their laughter soft, their lives woven into the steady rhythm of the earth. From time to time, you pause to gaze out at the garden, watching the dappled light dance across the stone pathways, listening to the faint rustling of fig leaves in the breeze, feeling your breath grow slower, your heartbeat steady and calm. Callimachus returns quietly, offering you a cup of warm, spiced water, flavored with honey and a touch of cinnamon. The warmth soothes you, the sweetness lingers gently upon your tongue, the scent comforting as you hold the cup between your hands. You sip slowly, the flavor soft and familiar, the warmth settling deeply within you. The day unfolds without rush. The sunlight moves steadily across the room, the breeze stirs the leaves, the quiet murmur of the library becomes a peaceful song, pages turning, soft footsteps echoing in distant halls, the calm voice of a scholar sharing a story with a friend. The library breathes with you, its ancient walls holding centuries of calm, its halls offering gentle shelter from the world's noise. You wander slowly through the other rooms, each step soft, each corner of the library a new place to pause. One hall is filled with maps, carefully drawn in smooth lines, their soft colors showing rivers and mountains, their coastlines winding like gentle waves. Another room is filled with small clay tablets, their inscriptions carved carefully, their messages simple, records of harvests, lists of herbs, notes of quiet daily life from those who lived long before. You sit again in the garden, the stone bench cool beneath you, the air fragrant with blooming jasmine. The bees hum their gentle songs, the fountains continue their soft, steady rhythm, and the leaves shimmer softly in the golden afternoon light. The peaceful voices of the library float faintly through the open windows, their tones low and comforting. As the sun begins its slow descent, Callimachus brings a simple meal, fresh bread, soft cheese, ripe dates, and cool water scented with mint. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, feeling the calm of the library settle more deeply within you. The warmth of the bread, the sweetness of the dates, the softness of the cheese, all combine into a meal that feels like a quiet blessing. The library's gardens grow even more peaceful as the evening arrives. The light softens, the breeze cools, the birds settle quietly among the olive branches. The lamps are lit inside, their golden glow casting soft shadows upon the scroll-lined walls. The library is alive, but gently so, its heartbeat slow and soothing, its spirit one of rest. Callimachus walks with you to the great entrance once more. His farewell is soft, his gratitude for your company woven into his calm words. You step back into the quiet streets of Alexandria, the sky above now brushed with the soft lavender of twilight, the stars beginning to appear one by one. You walk slowly through the calm city, past quiet courtyards, past the gentle sound of fountains, past the harbor where the waves brush softly against the stone docks. The air is cool now, the lamps glowing gently along the streets, their light flickering like small stars close to the earth. Each step carries you closer to your rest, each breath deepens, each thought softens. The calm of the library, the peace of the scrolls, the gentle wisdom of Callimachus, they remain with you, wrapping you in quiet comfort as you drift toward your place of sleep. The story of the Roman Empire flows on, not only in grand roads and mighty walls, but also in quiet libraries, in gentle gardens, in the soft turning of ancient scrolls. And you, dear traveler, carry its calm within you now. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 8, The Roman Empire, The Watchman's Peaceful Night. The story begins. Not all moments in the Roman Empire are filled with the noise of markets, the clang of swords, or the voices of senators in marble halls. Some moments drift quietly, where time slows and the world softens. Some moments belong to those who walk in silence, who guard not for glory, but for peace. This is the story of Cassius, a humble watchman, and his gentle, quiet night beneath the soft Roman sky. The evening begins as the sun gently lowers itself behind the distant hills, leaving behind soft trails of gold and rose that stretch across the sky. The streets of Rome begin to empty, the merchants rolling down the canvas of their stalls, the children slowly wandering home, the bakers brushing flour from their hands as they close their doors. The city exhales, settling into its nighttime rhythm. Cassius ties the leather straps of his sandals, his movements slow and practiced. His simple tunic brushes lightly against his knees as he gathers his oil lamp, its small flame flickering softly in the cooling breeze. He steps outside, his breath steady, his heart calm, prepared for his nightly walk through the quiet streets of the empire's grand capital. His route is long but familiar. The stone streets stretch before him, their surfaces cool beneath his feet, their edges softened by years of careful steps. The grand buildings loom gently around him, their walls aglow with the soft light of oil lamps that line the walkways. The temples stand silent, their stone columns wrapped in delicate vines, their doors closed, their sacred fires burning steadily within. Cassius's footsteps are slow, measured, echoing softly against the stone walls. The air is filled with the faint scent of lavender from a nearby garden and the light sweetness of fig trees whose branches hang lazily over courtyards. The distant sound of fountains continues to hum quietly, their waters spilling gently into marble basins. He carries no sword, only a wooden staff, smooth from many years of gentle use. His task is not to chase nor to fight, but simply to walk, to watch, to ensure that peace wraps around the city as softly as the night air. Along his path, he passes the baker's shop, its wooden door now firmly closed, the scent of fresh bread lingering like a comforting memory. He pauses for a moment, listening to the faint crackle of the dying oven within. The baker, an old friend, often leaves a small loaf on the stone step for Cassius to find on his night patrol. Tonight is no different, a warm round loaf, wrapped in linen, waiting patiently. Cassius smiles softly and tucks the bread under his arm, continuing his walk. He makes his way toward the open forum, where the stone benches stand empty, the grand statues gazing silently into the darkening sky. The oil lamps flicker gently, their flames bending and rising with the night breeze. The shadows dance along the smooth marble, their shapes stretching, softening, folding quietly into the corners. Cassius sits for a moment upon one of the stone benches, placing his lamp beside him. The air is cool, and the sky above is painted with the first soft stars. He listens to the quiet song of the fountains, to the rustling leaves of the nearby olive trees, to the far-off sound of a lyre played gently by a young musician preparing for rest. Taking a piece of the warm bread, Cassius chews slowly, savoring its soft texture and comforting taste. The warmth spreads through him, a gentle companion in the quiet night. He drinks from a small clay cup of water, its coolness refreshing, its simple taste grounding him in the peace of the moment. As he rises to continue his patrol, he passes the tall walls of the public baths. Though empty now, the faint scent of lavender and cedar lingers in the air, reminders of the people who gathered there earlier in the day to wash, to talk, to rest. The stone floors, still slightly warm from the day's sun, now cool beneath the touch of the night. Cassius walks through the residential lanes where the homes rest quietly, their shutters drawn, their courtyards still. The sound of soft conversation drifts from one window, the laughter of a family sharing a late meal, their voices low and warm. He smiles at the familiarity of it, knowing that even as the grand empire stretches its roads to distant lands, its truest peace is found in these simple homes. He pauses by a small garden where the scent of blooming jasmine wraps gently around him. The night air stirs the flowers, their soft white petals glowing faintly in the lamp's gentle light. The garden's fountain trickles steadily, its rhythm soothing, its melody as old as the stones that surround it. Cassius leans on his staff, breathing slowly, allowing the soft sounds of the garden to fill the quiet space around him. A cat, its fur pale and its eyes calm, pads silently across the path, pausing to look at him, its tail curling softly around its feet before it slips away into the hedges. The watchman continues his route, the streets now fully embraced by the stillness of the night. The Roman aqueducts, tall and steady, stretch into the distance, their graceful arches silhouetted against the starlit sky. The water within flows quietly, its journey unending, its presence a gentle heartbeat that nourishes the city. Cassius walks past the open gates of a temple, where a single flame burns upon the altar, tended by the priest who sits nearby in silent meditation. They exchange a nod, no words needed, their understanding woven into the quiet fabric of the night. Both guardians, both keepers of peace in their own way. His path takes him to the edge of the city, where the countryside begins to unfold, where small farms rest beneath the blanket of stars, their fields silent, their trees standing tall and patient. He leans upon the wooden railing of a quiet bridge that crosses a gentle stream. The water flows softly, its surface smooth, its sound tender and calming. Cassius watches the stars reflected in the stream's surface, their shimmering shapes swaying gently with the slow current. The breeze brushes against his skin, cool and clean, carrying the faint scent of pine from the distant hills. Time feels soft here, unhurried, like the stream itself, moving patiently, peacefully. As the night deepens, he begins his walk back through the sleeping city. His lamp still glows steadily, its flame a quiet companion. The streets, the courtyards, the arches, each one familiar, each one holding its own silent stories. He passes once more through the forum, the statues now cloaked in soft shadows, their forms quiet, their marble faces serene. The baker's shop rests peacefully, the warm scent of the day now only a memory. The olive trees rustle gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering ancient songs that only the night can hear. Returning to his small home near the city's edge, Cassius places his lamp upon the wooden table, its flame flickering softly, its light golden and warm. He unties his sandals, his steps now light, his breath deep and even. The soft linen blanket awaits him, its folds cool, its fabric smooth. As he lies down, the quiet of the city wraps around him like a gentle cloak. The fountains continue to sing their soft songs, the breeze stirs the olive leaves, the stream beyond the walls flows steadily toward the sea. The Roman Empire, vast and mighty, rests gently in this peaceful night. Its roads stretch across distant lands, its walls stand tall, but its truest strength is found in the quiet care of those who walk its streets, who guard its stillness, who find peace in its softest moments. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 9, The Roman Empire, a merchant's slow river journey. The story begins. There are journeys in the Roman Empire that race upon the grand stone roads, where wheels turn swiftly, and horses carry urgent news. But there are other journeys, gentle ones, where time flows like a quiet river, where the world is best seen from the steady deck of a slow-moving boat, drifting with a soft current beneath the open sky. This is the story of Lucius, a merchant whose quiet voyage along the river offers not the rush of trade, but the gift of peaceful hours. It is early morning, just as the pale light of dawn brushes softly against the tiled rooftops of the riverside town. The river lies still, its waters calm, its surface a smooth mirror reflecting the first blush of sunrise. A faint mist rises from the water, wrapping the banks in a gentle veil, softening the edges of stone and tree. Lucius steps onto the wooden deck of his riverboat, his sandals pressing against the smooth, worn planks. The boat is modest, with wide sails that rest quietly for now, and a small shelter at its center where amphorae of oil and baskets of fragrant spices are carefully secured. But this is no hurried journey. The markets wait, the cities can be patient. Today, Lucius has chosen the quiet path, letting the river guide him, steady and slow. He loosens the ropes that tether the boat, feeling the soft pull of the current beneath him. The river accepts him gently, its flow calm, its surface gliding past with barely a sound. The breeze is light, carrying with it the faint scent of cypress and the sweet aroma of distant fig groves. Lucius sits comfortably at the stern, his hand resting lightly on the tiller, though the river needs little guidance. His heart slows to match the rhythm of the drifting boat. Each breath draws in the cool morning air, each exhale softens his shoulders, eases his thoughts, settles his spirit. The soft sounds of the river accompany him, the quiet splash of fish rising to the surface, the distant rustle of reeds along the banks, the gentle creak of the boat's timbers as they adjust to the slow, steady movement. The world is wide and open here, the sky above painted in delicate shades of blue and rose, the river stretching out like a peaceful road. As the sun rises higher, the warmth of the day settles upon the deck. Lucius takes a small piece of bread from his basket, its crust still soft, its center sweet with dried figs and honey. He eats slowly, savoring each bite, allowing the simple flavors to ground him in the calm of the morning. He drinks cool water from a clay cup, its freshness welcome, its taste clean and pure. Passing villages rise gently along the banks, their stone homes quiet, their people moving slowly through the first tasks of the day. Farmers tend to their olive trees, fishermen pull their nets from the smooth water, potters shape soft clay upon their wheels. The village dogs doze in the sun, their ears twitching lazily, their world undisturbed by the gentle passage of the boat. Lucius offers a soft wave to a fisherman who rests beneath a cypress tree, his boat tied to the shore, his eyes half closed in the warmth of the morning. The fisherman lifts his hand in return, a silent greeting between two travelers content to share the river's slow rhythm. The river curves lazily, its banks wide and gentle, lined with low grasses and tall reeds that sway with the breeze. Birds with bright plumage skim the surface, their wings brushing the water, leaving soft ripples in their wake. The sound of their calls drifts across the river, a quiet music that blends perfectly with the creaking of the boat and the soft lap of water against its sides. In the distance, the outline of a Roman villa appears, its gardens stretching down to the river's edge. Columns rise gracefully, and the scent of blooming jasmine and fresh herbs drifts across the water. Lucius watches as servants tend to the gardens, their movements unhurried, their tasks woven into the peaceful rhythm of the day. He passes under a small wooden bridge, its stone supports worn smooth by time and weather. Above, a shepherd guides his flock across, the gentle bells tied to their necks chiming softly, their delicate tones floating down to the boat below. Lucius listens, letting the sound linger in the quiet air, another thread in the tapestry of his slow journey. The sun moves steadily, its warmth filling the day, its light painting soft reflections upon the rippling surface of the river. Lucius finds a shaded corner of the boat, unfurling a simple linen cloth and reclining comfortably. The sails catch a light breeze, pulling the boat gently forward, while the river continues its calm, steady flow. His eyes drift over the water, the distant hills, the olive groves that rise softly from the banks. The horizon seems endless here, a place where thoughts can stretch far but need not hurry. The gentle rocking of the boat, the soft rhythm of the river, the warm caress of the sun, all combine to cradle him in a soothing calm. Later in the afternoon, Lucius prepares a simple meal, a few olives, soft cheese, ripe figs, and bread brushed with sweet oil. Each bite is unhurried, each taste a quiet companion in the peaceful solitude of the river. The boat glides past rows of cypress trees, their tall shapes reflected perfectly in the water, their leaves whispering gently in the breeze. From time to time, he passes other small boats, their merchants resting like him, their journeys long but slow. They offer nods of recognition, brief moments of shared understanding, and continue their peaceful drift along the river's winding path. The riverbanks open to wide meadows, where farmers harvest wheat, their scythes moving in slow arcs, their songs low and steady. Children play along the shore, their laughter soft and distant, their bare feet splashing in the shallows. The life of the Roman countryside flows gently here, its pace patient, its spirit unhurried. As the sun begins to lower, casting long golden rays across the fields, Lucius approaches a quiet harbor near a village where he plans to rest for the night. The villagers tie his boat securely, their hands practiced, their voices kind. They welcome him with simple hospitality, offering a place at their communal table beneath a pergola wrapped in vines heavy with sweet grapes. The meal is humble, lentils, warm bread, roasted vegetables, and fresh water flavored with a hint of mint. The conversation is soft, the laughter gentle, the stories of the day exchanged without haste. Lucius feels the warmth of the meal, the kindness of strangers, the peace that settles as naturally as the evening breeze. After the meal, he walks slowly through the village, past homes with open shutters, where oil lamps cast a soft glow upon the stone paths. The scent of wood smoke lingers in the air, mingling with the sweet aroma of nearby fig trees. The sky darkens, revealing the quiet shimmer of stars, their light reflecting gently upon the still river. Lucius returns to his boat, its deck cool beneath his feet, its gentle rocking a familiar comfort. He wraps himself in a soft linen blanket, the sounds of the village slowly fading, replaced once more by the soft lap of water, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of night birds. As he lies upon the deck, his gaze drifts toward the star-filled sky, each star a quiet beacon, each one steady and calm. The river cradles the boat, its current slow and soothing, its song a lullaby that wraps around him like the softest embrace. The Roman Empire stretches beyond these quiet shores, but here in this simple moment, its vastness is gently folded into the peaceful rhythm of a slow river, a drifting boat, a quiet meal, and a night beneath the stars. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 10, The Roman Empire, the Potter's Quiet Day. The story begins. Within the grand Roman Empire, where mighty legions march and marble forums stand tall, there are also simple days, slow days, where life moves gently, like the turning of a potter's wheel. This is the story of Septimus, a humble potter whose days are not marked by battles or politics, but by the soft, steady rhythm of clay, water, and patient hands. The sun rises slowly over the village of Tibur, casting a warm, golden light over the quiet streets. The distant hills glow softly, and the olive trees, their leaves shimmering with a touch of morning, sway gently in the calm breeze. The air is cool and sweet, filled with the scent of fresh earth and blooming herbs. Septimus stirs from his simple bed, his small clay house warmed by the first rays of light that filter through the wooden shutters. His sandals rest neatly by the door, his tunic freshly folded, the tools of his trade carefully arranged near his wheel. His heart is calm, his breath steady. Today, like so many before, will be a day of peaceful work. He begins his morning by visiting the village baker, where the comforting scent of warm bread drifts through the open window. The baker, an old friend, offers him a small loaf wrapped in linen, along with a cup of gently spiced water, sweetened with a touch of honey. They share quiet words, their voices soft in the still morning, their conversation as familiar as the sun's rising. Septimus walks slowly back to his workshop, his sandals brushing gently against the worn stone path. The streets of Tibur are calm, the villagers beginning their own quiet routines. The blacksmith hammers gently in his forge, the farmer tends to his goats, the weaver carefully arranges her soft woolen threads upon the loom. His workshop, open to the morning breeze, is a place of quiet focus. The potter's wheel stands at the center, smooth and well used, its surface glistening faintly with a thin sheen of water. Rows of finished pots line the shelves, their forms simple and graceful, their surfaces smooth to the touch. Septimus kneels at the wheel, his hands steady, his movements slow and thoughtful. He dips his fingers into a clay bowl of water, feeling the coolness against his skin, the soft promise of the work ahead. With gentle pressure, he begins to spin the wheel, its motion steady, its rhythm soothing, its sound a soft circular whisper that fills the room. The clay, moist and smooth, rises beneath his careful touch. His hands guide its shape, slowly coaxing the soft material into tall, graceful forms. The wheel turns, steady and patient, as he smooths the sides, narrows the neck, gently rounds the base. The simple vessel begins to take life, its shape emerging quietly, as if the clay itself remembers its purpose. The sunlight moves slowly across the workshop, warming the shelves, casting soft, dappled light across the rows of pots waiting to be fired. The village life hums in the distance, a child's soft laugh, the faint clink of a blacksmith's tools, the gentle rustling of the olive trees as the breeze stirs their silver leaves. Septimus pauses, wiping his hands with a cloth, and steps into the small courtyard where a fig tree stands, its branches heavy with ripening fruit. He sits upon a low stone bench, his gaze resting upon the soft blue sky, the slow drift of white clouds, the steady flutter of leaves. The scent of lavender from a nearby garden drifts on the breeze, mingling with the sweet aroma of the figs. He breaks his bread, eating slowly, savoring the simple flavors, his mind quiet, his heart at ease. A small clay cup of cool water rests beside him, its surface catching the soft shimmer of sunlight. The world moves gently around him, each moment flowing smoothly into the next, like the slow turning of the wheel. Returning to his work, Septimus places the newly shaped pots upon wooden boards, their forms damp and delicate, their curves smooth beneath his fingertips. The afternoon sun warms the air, but the open workshop remains cool, shaded by the thick vines that climb the walls, their green leaves whispering softly in the breeze. Throughout the day, Septimus glazes the dried pots with careful, steady strokes. The glaze is smooth and light, its pale color waiting to transform in the kiln's heat. Each pot is a quiet promise of usefulness, destined to hold water, oil, grain, or flowers, to serve in homes where their simple beauty will be quietly cherished. The kiln, built of stone and clay, stands at the far end of the workshop. Septimus prepares it patiently, arranging the dry wood, gently placing the pots inside with practiced hands. He lights the fire, watching as the flames begin to rise, their soft crackle blending with the gentle sounds of the village. As the kiln warms, Septimus sits nearby, tending the fire, adding small bundles of wood, keeping the heat steady and calm. The sun drifts lower in the sky, painting the hills in soft gold and rose, the long shadows stretching across the quiet village. The warmth of the fire, the steady rhythm of the flames, the soft creak of the kiln stones, all these sounds weave together into a peaceful melody that surrounds him as he waits. His breath moves in slow, steady waves, his hands resting upon his knees, his mind drifting gently with the soft rhythm of the moment. The villagers pass by from time to time, offering quiet nods, their own work finished for the day. Children's laughter drifts from the distance, the faint clatter of amphorae being moved from the market echoes softly. The world moves slowly, wrapped in the quiet golden blanket of the late afternoon. When the firing is complete, and the kiln's heat begins to fade, Septimus carefully removes the pots, their surfaces now transformed, their colors deep and rich, their forms strong and ready to serve. He arranges them neatly upon the shelves, their quiet beauty a testament to the day's patient work. The sky darkens, and the soft glow of oil lamps begins to flicker in the village windows. The air cools, carrying with it the sweet scent of blooming jasmine and the gentle breath of the evening breeze. Septimus closes his workshop for the night, his heart filled with the quiet satisfaction of a simple day well spent. He returns to his small home, where a bowl of warm lentils and bread awaits him, shared in quiet company with his neighbors beneath the soft light of the stars. Their conversation is gentle, their laughter easy, the simple meal a comforting end to the peaceful day. Later, as Septimus lies upon his linen bed, the sounds of the village softly fading, the memory of the wheels steady turning, the soft shape of the clay, and the warmth of the kiln linger within him. The rhythm of his breath slows, his body resting, his mind quiet, carried by the calm of the day into peaceful sleep. The Roman Empire, grand in its cities and mighty in its roads, also rests in these quiet places, in the soft hands of a potter, in the gentle shaping of clay, in the steady turning of a wheel. These are the stories that drift quietly, patiently, like the breeze through the olive trees, like the soft crackle of the kiln, like the slow, steady breath that guides you into rest. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 11, The Roman Empire, A Gardener's Gentle Day. The story begins. In the grand expanse of the Roman Empire, among the mighty cities, soaring aqueducts, and endless roads, there are quiet corners where life moves gently. In these places, time drifts like the soft fall of leaves, and each day is a patient unfolding of simple joys. This is the story of Aurelius, a humble gardener whose peaceful work brings calm to the heart and rest to the soul. The first light of dawn brushes softly against the tiled roofs of his villa's garden, painting the stone walls in pale gold. The air is cool, carrying the faint sweetness of dew-covered grass and the gentle scent of lavender. The sky is still, touched by the softest hues of morning, and the world is wrapped in a quiet that soothes the spirit. Aurelius rises slowly from his simple wooden bed, his linen tunic soft against his skin, his sandals resting patiently by the door. He steps outside into the fresh morning air, his breath steady, his heart calm. The garden welcomes him with open arms, its olive trees swaying gently, its fountains whispering softly, its flowers stretching toward the new sun. He begins his day by tending to the roses near the low stone wall, their petals still glistening with morning dew. His hands, worn but steady, move carefully among the blooms, removing dried leaves, loosening the soil, and brushing the delicate petals with a gentle touch. The roses bloom in soft shades of white and pink, their fragrance a light, comforting cloud that follows him as he works. The paths through the garden are smooth, lined with small stones that crunch faintly beneath his sandals. He walks slowly, his steps measured, each movement unhurried. The cypress trees stand tall and still, their slender shapes reaching toward the quiet sky, their branches whispering softly in the morning breeze. Aurelius's favorite part of the garden is the small pond near the fig tree. The water is clear and calm, its surface a smooth mirror reflecting the soft blue sky and the slow drift of white clouds. Fish swim lazily beneath the lilies, their movements slow and graceful, their small fins stirring the water in gentle ripples. He sits on a stone bench beside the pond, resting his hands upon his knees, breathing in the sweet, clean air. The sound of the fountain nearby, its soft trickle steady and soothing, blends with the faint rustle of olive leaves and the distant call of birds beginning their day. The world is simple here, each moment unfolding like a soft breeze, each sound a thread in the quiet tapestry of the morning. Aurelius prepares a small basket of herbs, rosemary, thyme, and mint, gathered with slow, careful hands. The herbs are fragrant, their leaves cool and fresh, their scents rising gently to meet him as he places them in the basket. The morning sun warms his shoulders, the linen of his tunic soft against his skin, the gentle weight of the herbs in his hands grounding him in the peaceful rhythm of his work. He stops by the small olive grove, where the trees stand patiently, their gnarled trunks shaped by many seasons, their silver-green leaves shimmering in the soft light. The olives are not yet ripe, but their slow growth pleases Aurelius. He brushes his fingers gently along the branches, feeling the smoothness of the leaves, the soft promise of the fruit to come. As the sun climbs higher, Aurelius pauses beneath the shade of a tall fig tree, its broad leaves offering cool shelter. He unwraps a simple meal of fresh bread, soft cheese, and ripe figs, their sweetness filling his mouth as he eats slowly, savoring each bite. The breeze stirs the leaves above him, and the distant sound of village life hums gently in the background, a soft clatter of amphorae, a child's quiet laughter, the faint rhythm of a blacksmith's hammer. He drinks cool water from a clay cup, its freshness soothing, its taste clean and light. Each sip is unhurried, each breath steady, each moment wrapped in quiet ease. The garden, with its soft paths, its whispering trees, its blooming flowers, holds him gently, cradling him in a world where there is no rush. After his meal, Aurelius tends to the small citrus trees near the villa's edge. Their leaves glisten in the sunlight, their young fruits glowing softly among the branches. He carefully waters their roots, watching as the water sinks into the earth, nourishing the trees, encouraging their slow, patient growth. The garden's bees drift lazily among the lavender, their low hum a constant, peaceful song. Their wings glisten in the sunlight as they move from bloom to bloom, their work steady and unhurried, their presence a quiet blessing upon the flowers. Aurelius walks along the low stone walls, trailing his fingers over the smooth surface, warmed now by the afternoon sun. The scent of jasmine floats in the air, delicate and sweet, mingling with the faint aroma of sun-warmed earth and the soft salt of the distant sea breeze. He visits the vegetable beds, where tender greens stretch toward the sun, their leaves broad and healthy. He removes a few weeds, loosens the soil, and waters the roots, his hands moving with slow care, his mind gently resting in the rhythm of his work. The garden is his world, a place where time unfolds like the petals of a rose, where each moment is a gift, where the quiet breath of the earth is enough. The grand empire may rise with marble and stone, but here in this soft corner, life is built with sunlight, water, and the patient tending of simple things. As the sun begins its descent, casting golden light across the garden paths, Aurelius gathers his tools and gently sweeps the stone walkways, the soft scrape of the broom a final, peaceful task. The fountains continue their quiet song, the leaves rustle softly in the evening breeze, and the first soft glow of oil lamps begins to appear in the distant windows. He walks slowly to the pond one last time, sitting quietly upon the stone bench, watching as the fish drift lazily beneath the lilies, their movements as smooth and unhurried as the passing day. The sky above softens, painted in hues of lavender and rose, the first stars beginning to shimmer faintly in the deepening blue. Aurelius's breath is steady, his heart calm, his body resting easily in the peaceful hush of the garden. The scents of jasmine and lavender wrap around him. The soft trickle of the fountain blends with the distant, quiet sounds of village life preparing for rest. He returns to his small villa, the walls cool and comforting, the soft linen bed welcoming him as he settles beneath the light blanket. The gentle ache of a day's careful work rests in his limbs, a soothing reminder of time well spent. As the night fully embraces the garden, the leaves continue their quiet dance in the breeze, the fountains whisper their endless song, and the distant sea sends its soft breath across the land. The garden sleeps, the village sleeps, and the Roman Empire, grand and mighty, finds its deepest peace in these quiet moments, in these gentle places, in the simple tending of the earth. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 12, The Roman Empire, A Scribe's Gentle Day. The story begins. In the heart of the Roman Empire, beneath the tall arches and among the stone pillars, some lives are not spent in the markets or on the roads, nor in the distant fields or among the olive groves. Some lives unfold in the quiet hum of parchment and ink, in the soft shuffle of scrolls, in the slow, thoughtful turning of words. This is the story of Marcellus, a scribe who finds his peace not in loud forums or grand villas, but in the gentle rhythm of his quiet work. Morning arrives softly in Rome, the first rays of sunlight gliding across the rooftops, the shadows still long and cool. The city stirs, but the streets remain hushed, their stones damp with the breath of dawn. A faint breeze carries the scent of fresh bread and blooming herbs, mingling with the soft touch of morning air. Marcellus wakes in his small, tidy room above the library, the wooden shutters letting in streams of golden light that dance across the smooth walls. His sandals wait beside his bed, his simple linen tunic folded neatly upon a wooden chest. He stretches slowly, his breath steady, his body calm, rising into the stillness of the morning. His days begin with the quiet preparation of ink, the smooth grinding of charcoal, the careful mixing with oil and water. The ink glistens faintly in a shallow clay bowl, its dark surface steady, its promise patient. The quills are carefully sharpened, their tips smooth and precise, resting alongside his parchment rolls and wax tablets. Marcellus moves through the library's grand stone halls, his footsteps soft against the worn floors. Tall shelves rise around him, their spaces filled with scrolls, their edges wrapped in leather, their ends marked with delicate tags. The faint aroma of parchment, warmed by the morning sun, drifts through the air, a familiar, comforting scent. The library is peaceful, its walls thick, its windows high and narrow, allowing soft light to filter in, golden and gentle. The quiet hum of distant conversation echoes faintly, the voices low, respectful of the sacred hush that lives among the scrolls. Marcellus settles at his wooden desk, its surface smooth and cool beneath his hands. He unfurls a fresh scroll, its pale parchment glowing softly in the morning light. The words he must copy today wait patiently in another scroll beside him, their ink faded, their lines still strong. His task is not urgent, not pressed by time. Each letter, each curve, each stroke is to be shaped with care, with calm, with a quiet patience that fills his life. His quill glides gently across the parchment, its tip dipping into the dark ink, leaving smooth lines that curl and stretch, forming the elegant letters of the Latin tongue. The soft scratch of the quill blends with the distant sounds of the city waking, a soft murmur of voices, the slow clatter of amphorae, the quiet footsteps of fellow scribes moving among the shelves. Marcellus pauses often, not from weariness, but to savor the calm that surrounds him. He leans back, his gaze resting upon the high shelves, upon the soft dust motes dancing in the sunbeams, upon the vines that creep along the outer stone walls, their green leaves stirring gently in the morning breeze. His work continues, steady and slow. He copies not only words, but the flow of history, the stories of emperors, the poetry of distant lands, the careful records of daily life. His hands, steady and sure, bring these words to life once more, preserving them, giving them new breath. At midday he pauses to eat, his meal simple, a piece of warm bread, soft cheese, ripe olives, and a handful of sweet grapes. He sits in the small courtyard, where the stone benches remain cool beneath the shade of tall cypress trees. A gentle fountain trickles nearby, its water falling in soft, steady notes, a calm accompaniment to his quiet thoughts. Birds with bright feathers flutter among the vines, their songs light and easy, their movements unhurried. Marcellus watches them with quiet interest, his breath slow, his body at ease. He drinks from a clay cup of cool water, its simple taste refreshing, its familiar touch grounding him in the peaceful rhythm of the day. As the afternoon sun warms the library walls, Marcellus returns to his desk, his work waiting patiently. The ink remains smooth, the quill light in his hand. His writing continues, each letter carefully shaped, each word gently formed. He smooths the parchment with slow, even hands, guiding the scroll as it rolls and unrolls, the soft crackle of the material blending with the steady sounds of his quiet work. The hours pass gently. The library's peace is unbroken, its air cool and steady, its walls a calm shelter from the bustling streets beyond. The faint aroma of wax and aged parchment lingers, a familiar comfort that wraps around him like a soft linen cloak. From time to time, fellow scribes pass by, offering quiet nods, their faces calm, their steps measured. The shared silence binds them, a quiet fellowship of careful hands and thoughtful hearts. As the sun begins its slow descent, casting warm golden light across the high windows, Marcellus carefully completes his day's work. He gently places the finished scroll upon the drying shelf, its ink settling, its words resting, preserved for those who will read them in days yet to come. He tidies his desk, cleaning his quills, closing the ink, rolling the parchment with care. Each motion is unhurried, each step a soft farewell to the day's gentle labor. The library grows quieter still as evening approaches, its tall shadows stretching softly across the stone floors. Marcellus walks slowly through the streets of Rome, his path leading him to the riverside where the water flows smoothly, its surface glimmering in the fading light. The soft hum of evening life drifts around him, vendors closing their stalls, children's laughter trailing behind them as they wander home, the gentle clink of pottery being stacked. He sits upon a low stone wall near the river, the breeze cool upon his skin, the distant sound of fountains mingling with the quiet lap of water against the shore. The The city breathes slowly now, settling into its evening rhythm, its hurried moments dissolving into peaceful ones. The sky above softens, painted in delicate shades of lavender and rose, the first stars beginning to shine, their steady glow comforting, their presence timeless. Marcellus breathes deeply, savoring the cool, sweet air, his body resting easily, his thoughts drifting like the gentle current of the river. As the last light of day fades, he returns to his quiet room above the library. The oil lamp on his small wooden table glows softly, its warm light filling the space with calm. The shutters are open to the night breeze, the sounds of Rome now a soft murmur, the city's pulse steady, slow, at peace. He lies upon his linen bed, the simple blanket drawn lightly over him. His breath slows, his body rests, his mind floats gently upon the soft rhythms of the day, the steady scratch of the quill, the quiet trickle of the fountain, the peaceful drift of the river. In the grand empire, where mighty roads stretch across distant lands, where marble arches reach for the sky, there is also room for these quiet lives, these simple, beautiful days, shaped carefully like words upon parchment, soft as the evening breeze, steady as the river's flow. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 13, The Roman Empire, A Fisherman's Gentle Morning. The story begins. In the vast, sprawling Roman Empire, where the stone roads stretch like endless ribbons across mountains and fields, where grand forums bustle with merchants and philosophers, there are also quiet harbors, where the sea gently kisses the shore and the days unfold with the soft rhythm of the waves. This is the story of Gaius, a humble fisherman whose life flows as calmly as the morning tide. The first light of dawn glimmers softly upon the surface of the sea, turning the gentle waves into a sheet of silver. The air is cool, the breeze light, carrying the faint scent of salt and the soft aroma of sea grass. The small harbor, nestled in a peaceful Roman village, lies quiet and still, its wooden boats rocking gently with the morning tide. Gaius stirs from his simple cot in his small seaside home. His walls are lined with fishing nets, wooden oars, and clay pots carefully arranged, all worn smooth by the steady hands of a fisherman. He stands, stretches slowly, and breathes in the sweet briny air that drifts in through the open window. His sandals wait patiently by the door, his linen tunic soft from many washings. He prepares a simple breakfast, a small loaf of bread, a handful of olives, and a cup of fresh water. The bread is warm, the olives tender, the water cool upon his tongue. His movements are slow, his breath steady, his heart calm. The world is in no hurry here. The sea moves at its own gentle pace, and Gaius, too, moves with the rhythm of the waves. Stepping outside, he walks along the smooth stone path to the harbor where his small boat waits. The wooden planks of the dock creak softly beneath his feet. He loads his nets into the boat, careful and quiet, each knot tied with the precision of many peaceful mornings. The sun rises slowly, its golden light spreading across the calm waters, warming the worn oars as Gaius pushes his boat away from the shore. The sea welcomes him gently, the boat gliding smoothly over the soft ripples. The rhythm of the oars dipping into the water is steady and slow, a peaceful song that echoes softly in the quiet air. The village fades into the distance, the sound of waking life left behind, replaced by the soft lapping of water against the hull and the occasional cry of gulls overhead. Gaius breathes deeply, the salt air filling his chest, his hands relaxed upon the oars. His journey is not rushed. The fish wait, the sea waits, and time itself seems to slow. Reaching his favorite fishing spot, where the sea is calm and the water clear, Gaius carefully casts his nets into the gentle waves. The nets fall gracefully, their weight pulling them downward, their soft splash a quiet invitation to the sea's bounty. He leans back, resting his hands upon his knees, his gaze following the slow drift of clouds above. The boat rocks gently, a soft cradle upon the waves. The sea glistens around him, the sunlight painting soft patterns upon the rippling surface. The breeze is kind, caressing his face, stirring the edges of his tunic, carrying with it the distant fragrance of cypress trees that line the nearby shore. Gaius closes his eyes for a moment, his breath slow, his mind gently drifting. The soft creak of the wooden boat, the steady lap of the water, the distant call of seabirds, all these sounds weave together into a soothing lullaby, a melody as ancient as the sea itself. Time passes quietly. The sun rises higher, its warmth spreading across the sky, touching the tips of the waves, warming the smooth wood beneath Gaius's hands. He pulls in his nets slowly, their weight familiar, their texture rough but welcome against his palms. The sea has been generous, offering just enough small silver fish that glisten in the sunlight, a gentle gift, never too much, never too little. Gaius sorts his catch with patient care, his movements steady, his heart filled with quiet gratitude. He places the fish into a woven basket, their scales shimmering like scattered coins, their calm, silent presence a comfort. His work done, Gaius lets the boat drift upon the soft current. He takes a small piece of bread from his pouch, paired with a few dried figs, savoring the sweetness, the simple grounding flavors of his quiet life. The sea breeze stirs his hair, and the sound of distant waves meeting the rocky shore carries softly to him, a familiar voice. He rests his oars across his lap, his hands gently folded, his gaze lost in the endless blue horizon. The sky above stretches wide and open, its few clouds drifting lazily, their soft shadows brushing the water below. The sea, calm and patient, rocks his boat with the gentlest rhythm, a cradle for his thoughts. Nearby, dolphins break the surface, their smooth backs gliding through the water, their movements playful and free. Gaius watches them with quiet joy, his breath steady, his body at ease, the simple wonder of their presence filling his heart. As the sun begins its slow descent, casting long beams of golden light across the waves, Gaius gently rows back toward the harbor. The oars move through the water with soft splashes, the boat gliding smoothly, returning home without hurry. The village welcomes him, its people moving through their evening tasks. The smell of warm bread drifts from the ovens, mingling with the sweet scent of herbs from nearby gardens. Gaius steps onto the dock, his basket of fish cradled in his arms, his heart full of the sea's soft rhythm. He shares his catch with the villagers, a small gift, enough for the evening meal, enough to fill the tables of friends and neighbors. Their gratitude is quiet, their smiles warm, their words soft. There is no rush here, only the peaceful sharing of a simple life. As twilight settles, painting the sky in soft purples and gentle golds, Gaius sits outside his small home, the sea breeze still drifting through the streets, carrying the soft lull of the waves. He enjoys a humble meal of warm lentils, olives, and fresh bread, his body resting, his spirit calm. The sky darkens, and the first stars shimmer, their reflections dancing upon the sea's quiet surface. The village grows still, its oil lamps flickering softly, their light warm against the cool stone walls. The gentle sounds of the sea remain, steady and soothing, the eternal song that carries the day into night. Gaius lies upon his simple bed, the soft linen blanket light upon him, his breath slowing, his body sinking into rest. The rhythm of the waves, the soft creak of the boat, the steady dip of the oars, all return to him in memory, wrapping around him like a gentle cloak, easing him toward peaceful sleep. In the vast Roman Empire, where cities rise and legions march, there are also these quiet lives, simple, beautiful days shaped by the rhythm of the sea, by the soft cradle of the waves, by the peaceful breath of a fisherman rowing home. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 14, The Roman Empire, A Weaver's Quiet Day. The story begins. In the heart of the Roman Empire, where tall marble columns rise toward the sky and the sound of sandals on stone echoes through bustling forums, there are lives that unfold away from the noise, in rooms filled not with grand speeches but with the soft threads of daily work. This is the story of Livia, a quiet weaver whose peaceful days pass to the steady rhythm of loom and thread, where time moves slowly, softly, and gently, like the weaving of her cloth. The first light of dawn brushes gently across the terracotta rooftops of her village, nestled on the gentle slope of a hill overlooking the sea. The sky is painted in soft pastels, pale gold and warm rose, as the sun begins its slow climb. The morning air is cool and sweet, carrying the faint scent of thyme and the soft whisper of the sea breeze. Livia rises from her simple wooden bed, her linen blanket light upon her skin, her breath steady, her body calm. The clay floor is cool beneath her feet as she steps quietly into the main room of her home, where her loom stands in the corner, waiting patiently for her careful hands. She prepares a small breakfast, a piece of fresh bread still warm from the village oven, a handful of sweet dates, and a small cup of cool water. She eats slowly, savoring each bite, her mind gently waking to the rhythm of the day. The house is filled with the soft morning light, the walls bathed in gold, the wooden beams glowing with warmth. Stepping outside, Livia walks the familiar stone path to the nearby olive grove, her sandals brushing softly against the earth. The olive trees, their leaves shimmering silver in the morning breeze, stand tall and steady, their branches heavy with ripening fruit. The grove is quiet, the only sounds the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant hum of village life beginning to stir. She gathers a small bundle of olive branches, their slender leaves fragrant, their soft weight resting in her arms. As she walks back, the sea breeze drifts past her, carrying the soft scent of salt and the distant cry of gulls. Returning to her home, she sets the olive branches in a woven basket and sits at her loom. The loom's wooden frame is smooth from years of gentle use, its strings taut, its rhythm familiar. She selects her threads, soft wool dyed in calming shades of pale blue, gentle cream, and muted green, the colors of the sea and sky, the colors of quiet mornings and peaceful afternoons. Her hands begin to move, steady and unhurried. The shuttle glides smoothly, weaving the threads back and forth, creating a soft, intricate pattern that slowly comes to life beneath her touch. The sound of the loom's rhythm fills the room, a gentle, steady clack and soft thrum, a music that soothes the heart and settles the mind. The weaving carries her through the morning, each movement measured, each thread carefully placed. She pauses often, resting her hands, breathing in the soft scent of olive leaves, feeling the cool breeze as it drifts through the open window. At midday, she steps outside into the sunlight, sitting on a low stone bench in her small courtyard. The air is warm but gentle, the shade of the fig tree offering cool shelter. She unwraps a simple meal, bread, soft cheese, ripe figs, and a small clay cup of water. The quiet is comforting, broken only by the faint flutter of birds' wings and the soft trickle of the nearby fountain. Livia watches the village as it moves softly around her, neighbors carrying baskets of herbs, children playing with smooth pebbles near the fountain, the soft call of the baker offering his fresh loaves. The sounds drift gently, the village alive but never hurried. She lingers in the shade, savoring the coolness, the quiet hum of life, the soft brush of the breeze against her skin. The leaves of the fig tree tremble gently above her, their edges kissed by the sunlight. When she returns to her loom, the threads await her, patient and still. The shuttle moves once more, the pattern growing steadily, the cloth taking shape beneath her careful hands. The soft blue, the pale cream, the gentle green, all woven together into a tapestry of calm. Time passes quietly. The sun drifts slowly across the sky, its light softening as the afternoon settles. The air remains sweet, the steady rhythm of the loom guiding her movements, each sound a soft heartbeat in the peaceful room. In the late afternoon, Livia pauses her work and walks to the nearby stream, where the water flows clear and cool over smooth stones. She kneels by the bank, her hands dipping into the refreshing current, the coolness spreading gently through her fingers. The water carries the soft scent of wet earth and green reeds, its sound a gentle, flowing melody. She fills a small clay jar and lingers by the stream, watching the dragonflies drift lazily over the water, their delicate wings shimmering in the sunlight. The world around her hums quietly, the soft rustling of reeds, the distant call of the sea, the warm scent of sunlit grass. As evening approaches, she returns home, her jar of cool water resting lightly in her hands. The loom stands ready, the threads waiting patiently for the last gentle passes of the shuttle. She completes the day's weaving as the golden light of sunset streams through the window, casting soft, warm patterns upon the walls. The cloth, now nearly finished, hangs in smooth folds, its colors glowing in the fading light. Livia carefully smooths the fabric, her hands gliding gently over the soft surface. She tidies her tools, her movements slow and thoughtful, each step bringing her work to its quiet conclusion. The village settles into the soft hush of evening, the sky painted in gentle hues of lavender and rose, the first stars beginning to shimmer above. The breeze carries the scent of evening fires, the soft aroma of herbs and warm bread filling the air. She prepares a simple supper, a bowl of warm lentils, bread drizzled with olive oil, a few sweet grapes. Sitting by the open window, she watches the night slowly embrace the village, the oil lamps flickering softly in the homes nearby, their golden light a comforting glow. The sounds of the loom's rhythm, the soft trickle of the stream, the gentle rustle of olive leaves, all linger in her memory as she lies upon her linen bed, the cool air brushing gently against her skin. Her breath slows, her body rests, her mind drifts softly upon the memory of threads passing through her hands, the steady hum of the shuttle, the quiet unfolding of the day. In the grand Roman Empire, where mighty roads reach distant lands and marble arches rise toward the heavens, there are also these quiet lives, woven softly like the threads upon Livia's loom, shaped by peaceful hands, guided by the steady rhythm of simple days. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 15, The Roman Empire, A Shepherd's Quiet Journey. The story begins. In the peaceful hills that gently cradle the outer villages of the Roman Empire, far from the noise of the crowded cities, there are lives that pass quietly among the soft grass and the open skies. This is the story of Titus, a humble shepherd whose days unfold slowly, softly, and patiently, guided by the rhythm of his sheep, the breath of the breeze, and the calm hum of the earth. The first light of dawn glides gently over the rolling hills, painting the tall cypress trees in soft gold, brushing the distant mountaintops with pale pink. The morning air is cool, sweet, and filled with the faint scent of dew-drenched grass and blooming wildflowers. The soft bleating of sheep stirs the stillness, their voices rising in the quiet morning air. Titus rises from his simple wooden bed, his linen blanket folded carefully at its edge. His small home, built of smooth stone and wood, rests at the foot of the hill, nestled among the olive trees. His sandals wait beside the door, their leather worn soft from many peaceful journeys across these gentle slopes. He prepares a simple breakfast, a piece of fresh bread, soft goat cheese, a few ripe figs, and a cup of cool water drawn from the nearby stream. Each bite is savored slowly, each sip taken with quiet gratitude. The breeze stirs the leaves outside his window, carrying with it the soft scent of thyme and the distant murmur of the village just beginning to wake. With his staff in hand and his woolen cloak draped loosely over his shoulders, Titus steps out into the morning light. His flock grazes nearby, their woolly backs warmed by the rising sun, their movements slow and gentle. He calls to them softly, his voice low and calm, his words familiar and kind. The sheep respond with quiet bleats, their soft ears flicking, their small hooves pressing gently into the dew-soft earth. The journey begins, slow and steady, the sheep moving peacefully along the worn paths that wind through the hills. Titus walks among them, his footsteps light upon the grass, his gaze resting upon the wide, open sky. The rhythm of the day is gentle here, each moment unfolding like the soft petals of a blooming flower. The hills stretch around him, their curves smooth and patient, their slopes dotted with wild herbs and bright flowers. The olive trees stand quietly, their silver-green leaves shimmering in the sunlight. Bees drift lazily among the blossoms, their low hum blending with the soft rustling of the grass and the distant peaceful calls of morning birds. Titus guides his flock toward the high meadows, where the grass is thick and sweet, where the breeze flows like a soft stream through the tall cypress trees. The sheep graze contentedly, their movements calm, their world simple and safe. Titus leans upon his staff, his breath slow, his body at ease, his eyes watching over his flock with steady patience. He walks among the tall grasses, trailing his hand across their soft tops, his fingers brushing against the delicate petals of wildflowers. The sun rises higher, warming his shoulders, its golden light resting gently upon the hills, the sheep, and the quiet shepherd. At midday, Titus finds a shaded place beneath a wide fig tree. The tree's broad leaves offer cool shelter, its branches heavy with ripening fruit. He unwraps a simple meal, bread drizzled with olive oil, a few sweet grapes, a slice of soft cheese. He eats slowly, savoring each bite, his body resting upon the soft grass, his gaze drifting toward the clouds that sail lazily across the sky. The sounds of the meadow surround him, a gentle rustling of the breeze through the leaves, the soft bleating of sheep, the distant trickle of a small stream flowing steadily over smooth stones. Time moves softly here, each minute a gentle unfolding, each breath a quiet thread in the fabric of the day. After his meal, Titus refills his water flask from the cool stream, the clear water flowing sweet and fresh. He kneels beside the bank, dipping his hands into the cool current, the water gliding smoothly through his fingers, the scent of wet earth and sun-warmed reeds filling the air. The afternoon stretches wide and peaceful. Titus follows his flock as they wander gently across the hillside, their path slow, their steps soft upon the earth. The woolly backs shimmer in the sunlight, their calm presence a quiet comfort. He sings softly as he walks, his voice low, his song a gentle thread weaving through the hills. The words, known only to him, drift upon the breeze, blending with the hum of bees, the distant call of a shepherd's flute, and the steady rhythm of the grazing flock. The sun begins its slow descent, casting long golden beams across the hills, warming the stones, softening the colors of the earth. Titus guides his sheep gently toward home, their hooves pressing into the well-worn paths, their movements easy, unhurried. As they near the village, the soft sounds of evening life drift through the air, the low call of a farmer gathering his tools, the gentle laughter of children, the faint clatter of amphorae being carried home. The scent of warm bread rises from the baker's shop, mingling with the sweet aroma of herbs and the soft salt of the sea breeze. Titus leads his flock into their pen, their woolly bodies settling close together, their bleating fading into the quiet hum of the coming night. He brushes his hand gently over their soft coats, his voice low, his touch steady, his heart at peace. His small home welcomes him with its cool stone walls and the soft flicker of an oil lamp resting upon his wooden table. He prepares a simple supper: warm lentils, a piece of fresh bread, olives, and cool water. He eats slowly, the soft hush of the evening wrapping around him, the quiet rhythm of the day settling into his bones. The stars begin to shimmer in the darkening sky, their soft light mirrored in the gentle surface of the nearby stream. The hills, now touched by moonlight, rest in deep, calm silence, their shapes smooth and familiar. Titus sits upon the low stone bench outside his home, the night breeze brushing gently against his skin, the sounds of the village fading into peaceful hush. The sheep are quiet, their soft breath steady, their world safe and still. His breath slows, his body resting easily, his mind gently floating upon the soft memory of grass beneath his feet, the warm sun upon his shoulders, the steady sound of his flock moving through the hills. In the grand Roman Empire, where stone roads reach toward distant lands and marble arches rise toward the heavens, there are also these quiet lives, shaped by the slow rhythm of footsteps upon the grass, by the soft song of the breeze through the cypress trees, by the peaceful hum of a shepherd's day. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 16, The Roman Empire, A Potter's Gentle Day. The story begins. In the quiet corners of the Roman Empire, far from the marching legions and the grand speeches of senators, life unfolds at a slower, gentler rhythm. Beneath the warm terracotta roofs of a peaceful village, nestled near the bend of a lazy river, lived Marcus, a humble potter whose days were shaped by soft clay, the smooth wheel, and the calm crackle of a well-tended kiln. The dawn broke softly, its first golden light slipping across the village rooftops, brushing the fields and the river's edge with a gentle glow. The morning air was cool, touched by the faint scent of wet earth and blooming chamomile. The village was still, resting in the embrace of early morning, its stone streets quiet, its homes wrapped in calm. Marcus awoke slowly, his body stretching beneath a simple linen blanket, his breath steady, his heart unhurried. The soft creak of wooden beams above him and the distant chirping of morning birds filled his ears, their familiar sounds easing him into the new day. His sandals rested patiently by the door, their leather worn soft from years of peaceful walks between his workshop and the riverbank. He prepared a simple breakfast, a small loaf of warm bread, a cup of cool water, and a few ripe figs. Each bite was slow, each sip a gentle welcome to the day ahead. His workshop, just a few steps from his home, stood with its wide wooden door open to the morning breeze. The room was filled with soft light, its walls lined with shelves holding smooth clay bowls, sturdy amphorae, and delicate cups, each one shaped with care and patience. The scent of damp clay and the faint aroma of dried herbs lingered in the air, a comforting presence that wrapped around Marcus like an old friend. His potter's wheel, its surface smooth and familiar, waited quietly at the center of the room, its rhythm soon to return beneath his steady hands. Marcus gathered a lump of soft clay, its texture cool and pliable in his palms. He pressed it gently onto the wheel, his hands cupping it, guiding it with care. As his foot turned the wheel, it began to spin, slowly at first, then with a steady, calming rhythm. His fingers shaped the clay with tender patience, smoothing the sides, drawing the form upward, allowing the vessel to emerge, its curve soft, its shape balanced. The quiet hum of the wheel blended with the gentle sounds of the village beginning to wake, the soft voices of neighbors, the distant clink of amphorae, the faint bleating of goats. The world stirred around him, but inside the workshop, time flowed slowly, softly, shaped by the careful turning of the clay. The morning sun warmed the stone floor, its golden rays creeping across the workbench, brushing the shelves, gently illuminating the finished pots that lined the walls. Marcus worked calmly, his breath steady, his touch light, his mind fully present with the spinning clay. From time to time, he paused to wipe his hands on a soft cloth, stepping outside to watch the river's smooth surface glide past, its soft ripples shimmering beneath the sun. The scent of lavender drifted from nearby fields, mingling with the sweet aroma of fresh bread rising from the baker's hearth. Returning to his wheel, Marcus continued his work, shaping bowls, cups, and small jugs, each piece unique, each one holding within it the quiet rhythm of the day. His hands moved with practiced ease, guiding the clay as it softened and stretched, a dance between his fingers and the spinning earth. At midday, he stepped away from his wheel and walked to the shade of a nearby olive tree. The tree's wide branches offered a cool haven, its leaves trembling gently in the soft breeze. He sat upon a smooth stone, unwrapping a simple meal, bread drizzled with golden olive oil, fresh cheese, and a few sweet grapes. He ate slowly, savoring the quiet, the soft hum of bees, the gentle rustle of leaves, the distant laughter of children playing by the river's edge. The afternoon passed gently, each hour flowing like the calm current of the river. Marcus prepared his kiln, stacking the newly shaped pots with careful hands, their surfaces still cool and soft. He arranged the wood beneath the kiln, his movements measured, his breath calm. The fire crackled to life, its soft glow growing, its warmth filling the workshop as the clay slowly hardened, the pieces beginning their patient transformation. The kiln's steady heat, the gentle flicker of the flames, and the faint scent of burning oak filled the room, a familiar rhythm that brought Marcus quiet satisfaction. He sat nearby, tending the fire, watching the soft orange light dance upon the stone walls. As the sun drifted lower in the sky, its golden beams stretched long across the village, brushing the tops of the olive trees, painting the river in warm hues. Marcus returned to his wheel, shaping one final vessel as the day began its slow retreat into evening. The village settled into a soft hush, its sounds gentle and low, the clink of pottery being carried home, the soft call of neighbors sharing quiet words, the faint hum of evening life. The breeze, cooler now, drifted through the open door, carrying the scent of the river, the sweet aroma of bread, the soft whisper of lavender fields. Marcus tended his kiln until the sun kissed the horizon, its light fading into the soft purples and deep blues of twilight. He carefully closed the kiln's opening, allowing the fire to rest, the pots inside left to cool slowly through the night. He cleaned his tools, his hands moving unhurriedly, his heart at ease. The workshop grew dim as the sky darkened, the oil lamp upon his workbench casting a soft golden glow that flickered gently against the stone walls. His simple supper awaited him, warm lentils, fresh bread, olives, and a cup of cool water. He sat near the open window, his gaze resting upon the dark river, the soft shimmer of moonlight upon its surface, the village now quiet, wrapped in peaceful night. The stars, steady and bright, began to appear one by one, their soft light filling the sky, their reflections dancing upon the gentle ripples of the river. The olive trees stood still, their silver leaves rustling softly in the night breeze. Marcus rested upon his linen bed, the cool fabric brushing against his skin, his breath slow, his body calm. The soft crackle of the cooling kiln, the faint scent of clay and oak, the quiet rhythm of the river, all drifted around him, carrying him gently towards sleep. In the vast Roman Empire, where stone arches reach for the sky, where grand roads stretch across distant lands, there are also these quiet lives, shaped by the soft spin of the potter's wheel, the gentle shaping of clay, the calm breath of simple days. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 17, The Roman Empire, a baker's gentle morning. The story begins. In a quiet village on the edge of the grand Roman Empire, where the stone roads glisten with the morning dew and the tall cypress trees sway gently in the soft breeze, there lived a humble baker named Flavius. His life was simple, his days shaped by the comforting rhythm of flour, dough, and the gentle warmth of his brick oven. As the sky slowly shifted from deep indigo to the soft gold of dawn, the village remained wrapped in peaceful slumber. The faint light touched the tops of olive trees, painted the edges of rooftops, and slipped quietly into the narrow streets. The air was cool and sweet, filled with the soft scent of thyme, lavender, and the distant salt of the sea. Flavius awoke before the first call of the village roosters. His small stone home, built close to his bakery, was still dark, the only sound the steady rhythm of his breathing and the occasional crackle of the cooling oven from the day before. He rose from his simple linen bed, stretching slowly, his muscles moving softly, his body well accustomed to the early hours. He prepared a quiet meal, a small cup of cool water, a handful of sweet figs, and a piece of crusty bread from yesterday's batch, still fresh and fragrant. His movements were slow, deliberate, unhurried. The morning was his own, calm and silent. The bakery, a modest stone building with a wide wooden door and a tall chimney, greeted him with a familiar scent of flour and the faint, lingering warmth of the hearth. He lit a small oil lamp, its soft golden glow filling the room, brushing gently across wooden shelves lined with clay jars of honey, olive oil, dried herbs, and fine white flour. Flavius worked in quiet peace, pouring the flour into a wide clay bowl, adding cool water, a pinch of salt, and a careful measure of fresh yeast. His hands moved gently, kneading the soft dough, folding and pressing with steady, practiced motions. The dough warmed beneath his touch, slowly becoming smooth, pliable, and ready to rest. He set the dough aside to rise, covering it with a soft linen cloth. As it rested, he stepped outside into the cool morning air, breathing deeply, listening to the distant trickle of a fountain and the soft rustling of olive leaves in the breeze. The village remained mostly still, its people sleeping, its streets quiet, touched only by the golden fingers of the rising sun. Returning to his warm bakery, Flavius prepared the oven, stacking smooth olive wood with care, lighting the fire with a practiced hand. The soft crackle of the flames, the gentle scent of burning wood, and the gradual heat filling the stone oven wrapped the room in a comforting embrace. The dough had risen beautifully, its soft surface now full and smooth. Flavius divided it carefully, shaping each loaf with patient hands. Some were small, round loaves for the morning tables, others long and slender, destined for the market stalls. He placed the loaves onto smooth wooden boards, gently sliding them into the glowing oven. The heat enveloped them, the transformation beginning slowly, the soft dough firming, its surface browning, the crust forming, golden and crisp. The scent of fresh bread soon filled the bakery, drifting softly through the open door, carried by the morning breeze along the stone streets. It reached the homes of his neighbors, warming their hearts, gently waking them with the promise of a new day. As the village stirred, the sound of quiet footsteps, soft voices, and the gentle creak of opening shutters filled the air. Children's laughter echoed faintly, mingling with the rhythmic clatter of amphorae and the soft shuffle of sandals upon the dusty roads. Flavius carefully removed the loaves from the oven, their crusts golden, their scent rich and sweet. He placed them on wooden shelves to cool, their warm surfaces filling the room with a soft, fragrant heat. His first customers arrived soon after, their faces still touched by sleep, their words gentle, their smiles warm. Flavius greeted each one with quiet kindness, offering them loaves wrapped in linen, their warmth comforting in the cool morning air. He moved with calm patience, his hands steady, his heart light. The exchange of bread for a few small coins or a bundle of fresh herbs was simple, honest, and peaceful. Each loaf carried the soft rhythm of his morning, each bite a part of his quiet labor. As the sun climbed higher, the village grew busier, but the bakery remained a place of calm. Flavius worked through the morning, preparing more dough, shaping more loaves, tending his fire with care. The soft hum of daily life wrapped around him, the quiet conversation of neighbors, the distant call of merchants, the gentle coo of doves perched upon the warm roof tiles. At midday, Flavius paused his work, stepping outside to enjoy a simple meal beneath the shade of a fig tree. His lunch was humble, warm bread drizzled with honey, a piece of soft cheese, a few sweet grapes, and cool water. The breeze whispered through the fig leaves, the soft sunlight filtered gently through the branches, and the distant sound of the river carried softly to his ears. He closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, his body resting, his mind at ease. The simple joy of the bread he had baked, the quiet satisfaction of his gentle work, and the peaceful hum of the village surrounded him like a soft blanket. The afternoon passed slowly, the warm sunlight pouring through the open door of the bakery, brushing the wooden shelves, glinting softly upon the clay jars. Flavius continued his work at a calm, steady pace, his hands shaping the dough with care, the quiet rhythm of the bakery guiding his thoughts. The children who passed by the door would often peek in, their eyes wide, their steps light. Flavius would offer them small rolls, still warm, their crusts crackling gently beneath their fingers. The children's soft laughter and joyful thanks filled his heart with a quiet happiness. As evening approached, the sun casting long, golden rays across the village, Flavius prepared his final loaves for the day. The fire in the oven glowed softly, its warmth lingering, its gentle crackle a steady companion. The village began to settle, its sounds growing quieter, its pace slowing as the coolness of night crept in. The scent of evening meals drifted through the streets, roasted herbs, warm lentils, the faint sweetness of honey cakes. Flavius closed the bakery door, wiping his hands upon his linen cloth, his heart full, his spirit calm. He returned to his small home, where a simple supper awaited him, warm bread, soft cheese, olives, and a small cup of wine. The sky darkened, the first stars twinkling gently above, their light reflected in the quiet river that wound slowly past the edge of the village. The breeze grew cooler, the village resting beneath the soft hush of night. Lying upon his simple bed, Flavius breathed slowly, his body sinking into rest, his mind wrapped in the peaceful rhythm of his day, the soft kneading of dough, the gentle crackle of the fire, the quiet joy of sharing bread with his village. In the grand Roman Empire, where mighty aqueducts carry water to distant cities, where stone roads stretch to the edges of the known world, there are also these quiet lives, woven gently into the fabric of time, shaped by the simple act of baking bread, and the calm, steady breath of peaceful mornings. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story 18, The Roman Empire, A Lantern Keeper's Gentle Evening. The story begins. In the quiet corners of the Roman Empire, beyond the roar of the Colosseum and the bustle of the crowded markets, there lived those whose work unfolded softly, whose days were wrapped in peaceful silence, whose steps left gentle echoes along ancient stone streets. One such life belonged to Elias, a humble lantern keeper, whose evenings were guided by the slow lighting of lamps and the calm glow of flickering flames. Elias's village rested near the edge of a calm, winding river, where the water shimmered beneath the soft kiss of the sun, and where the roads gently curved past weathered stone buildings and low-arched bridges. His home was a simple one, its wooden shutters painted in soft earth tones, its clay-tiled roof warmed daily by the Roman sun. As the afternoon light began to soften, the air cooling with the quiet approach of evening, Elias would rise from his restful seat beneath the fig tree in his courtyard. The breeze, carrying the scent of lavender and distant cooking fires, whispered gently through the village, brushing the olive leaves, nudging the tall grasses that bordered the river. He prepared his small bundle of oil lamps, clay pitchers of fragrant olive oil, and a carefully tended linen wick for each lantern. His sandals, worn smooth from years of quiet walking, rested by the door, ready to guide his steps along the familiar path that wound through the village and toward the ancient road that connected his people to the greater empire. The first star appeared, glimmering faintly in the dusky sky, as the sun's golden light slowly dipped behind the cypress-covered hills. Elias stepped into the cooling evening, his wooden pole balanced gently across his shoulders, its ends bearing the baskets that held his lamps and tools. His steps were slow, unhurried, his breathing calm, his heart settled. The village streets were familiar and peaceful at this hour. The last sounds of merchants packing their goods, the soft calls of children being gathered home, and the distant splash of water from a nearby fountain faded gently into the hush of twilight. The air was filled with the sweet scent of evening bread, the faint spice of roasted herbs, and the soft salt carried from the river. Elias's work was simple and steady. He stopped at each stone post where the village lamps waited, their glass mouths cool and dark, their frames patiently awaiting the flame that would soon bring them to life. With practiced care, he poured a small measure of oil into each lantern, the smooth liquid gliding silently into its base. He trimmed each linen wick, his fingers steady, his motions gentle. Lighting each flame was a soft, quiet ritual. The fire caught easily, the wick embracing the glow, the light slowly growing, steadying, flickering softly behind the lantern's delicate glass. One by one, the village lamps awakened, their warm glow spreading like gentle stars upon the earth, guiding the quiet feet of neighbors returning home, comforting those who walked slowly in the evening's embrace. The sky deepened to a soft navy, scattered with the quiet shimmer of stars. The air cooled further, the breeze now carrying the soothing hush of night, the faint crackle of distant hearth fires, the low murmur of quiet conversation drifting from open windows. Elias continued his path along the outer road, stopping at each lantern with the same calm rhythm, tending each flame with the same gentle touch. His work was not hurried, for the night moved slowly, and he too had learned to move with it, step by step, breath by breath. The river glistened nearby, its surface painted by the silver light of the rising moon, its soft ripples lapping quietly against the stone embankments. The leaves of the olive trees trembled gently in the cool breeze, their slender branches swaying in time with the hush of the water. At the edge of the village, Elias paused, his final lantern resting atop a tall post near the old Roman road. He poured the last measure of oil, trimmed the wick with careful fingers, and struck the small flame that slowly caught, blooming into a steady, welcoming light. From this quiet spot, Elias could see the road stretching far into the distance, its stone path bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, the silhouettes of travelers appearing only as peaceful shadows far away. The night was calm, the village wrapped in a warm golden hush, each lantern now softly aglow, their light dancing gently upon the stone walls, their flames swaying slightly with the tender breath of the breeze. Elias began his slow walk home, his baskets now light, his heart steady, his mind wrapped in the peaceful rhythm of his evening ritual. The familiar scent of olive oil and warm clay lingered in the air, mingling with the sweet aroma of night-blooming flowers that lined the village paths. He passed by the homes of his neighbors, their windows aglow with soft oil lamps, their peaceful voices murmuring quietly within. Children's laughter faded into gentle stories, their soft footfalls replaced by the hush of restful silence. Back at his home, Elias set down his tools, gently brushing away the small flecks of oil from his fingers, carefully placing his empty pitchers upon their shelves. He washed his hands in a small clay basin, the cool water soothing his skin, the soft splash of water echoing briefly before settling into the quiet. His evening meal was simple: warm bread, a few olives, a small bowl of lentils, and a cup of cool water. He ate slowly, savoring each bite, his thoughts lingering on the soft glow of the lamps he had tended, the calm steps he had taken, the peaceful hush of the village now safely cradled in the arms of night. The oil lamp upon his own table flickered gently, casting soft shadows upon the smooth stone walls of his home. The breeze drifted lazily through the open window, carrying the faint scent of the river, the soothing melody of distant frogs, the low rustle of fig leaves. Elias reclined upon his simple linen bed, his body sinking comfortably into rest, his breath slowing, his mind easing. His eyes closed, his heart wrapped in the familiar peace of his quiet life, the soft memory of lanterns glowing in the night, the gentle footsteps that guided him along the winding village paths. The village now slept beneath the calm watch of countless stars, the warm light of the lanterns gently dancing upon the stone streets, the river's quiet song soothing the night. In the grand Roman Empire, where legions march beneath banners of crimson and where mighty aqueducts carry water to distant cities, there are also these quiet lives, woven gently into the peaceful rhythm of simple days and calm, steady evenings. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests. Story last, the Roman Empire. The story gently ends. The story ends. And so, in the soft glow of a flickering oil lamp, in the quiet embrace of a resting village beneath the endless Roman sky, the story finds its peaceful close. The stone streets, once kissed by countless footsteps, now rest undisturbed under the silver light of the stars. The warm lanterns, lovingly tended by the humble hands of those who came before, continue to glimmer softly, their steady glow a quiet memory of simple days. The gentle river flows onward, winding past the cypress trees and ancient bridges, its ripples carrying the quiet stories of bakers, potters, shepherds, and lantern keepers, their peaceful lives woven forever into the calm fabric of time. The Roman Empire, grand and vast, stretches far beyond these quiet places, but here, in the soft hush of this resting village, it is the slow, tender rhythm of life that lingers most. The story rests now, folded carefully like a linen cloth upon a wooden shelf, its words drifting like the soft breath of the evening wind, its memory carried gently by the silver beams of the moon. The story begins. Long ago, in a quiet coastal village within the grand Roman Empire, there lived a fisherman named Cassion, whose life moved with the patient rhythm of the sea. His home, built of smooth stone and weathered wood, sat close to the shore, its walls warmed by years of sunlight, its windows always open to the soft hum of the ocean breeze. Each morning, before the sun stretched its golden arms across the calm waves, Cassion would rise from his simple bed, his breath slow, his body relaxed, his heart at peace. His small wooden boat, its sides worn smooth by time and salt, waited for him upon the soft sand, its ropes gently swaying in the cool morning air. He prepared a quiet meal, a piece of warm bread, a handful of sweet figs, and a cup of fresh water. The scent of the sea mingled with the faint aroma of wild herbs drifting from nearby hills, the soft rustling of the olive trees filling the air like a gentle song. Cassion's days were simple and soft. He would guide his small boat into the calm waters, his oars slicing through the silver surface with steady rhythmic strokes. The sea was quiet at dawn, its waves small, its breath gentle, its surface painted with soft hues of lavender, gold, and pale blue. The fishermen of the village often shared this peaceful hour, their boats drifting apart yet connected by the unspoken rhythm of their simple work. The morning breeze brushed their skin, carrying the soft scent of salt and the faint calls of seabirds that soared lazily overhead. Cassion would cast his net carefully, his hands moving with slow precision, his motions guided by the familiar pull of years spent with the sea. As the net settled into the water, he would lean back, his eyes resting upon the distant horizon, his breath falling into quiet harmony with the ebb and flow of the waves. The sea, calm and vast, wrapped him in its gentle embrace. The soft creak of the boat's wooden frame, the distant splash of fish, and the occasional flutter of a seabird's wings were the only sounds that accompanied him in these tranquil moments. When the net was full, its modest catch glistening in the morning light, Cassion would gather it with slow, steady hands, his heart filled with quiet gratitude. He did not seek great fortune, nor did he chase the distant sails of empire. He was content with the simple rhythm of the sea, the warm bread on his table, and the soft stories whispered by the waves. Returning to shore, his footsteps pressed softly into the cool sand, his boat resting once more upon the beach, its ropes tied with gentle care. He would walk slowly through the village, the morning sun warming the stone walls, the scent of fresh bread rising from the baker's hearth, the soft laughter of children echoing through the winding streets. Cassion shared his catch with his neighbors, trading fish for olives, figs, and warm loaves of bread. The exchanges were simple, quiet, filled with the soft smiles of those who knew the value of peaceful days. His afternoons were spent repairing his nets beneath the shade of an olive tree, his fingers moving patiently, his breath steady, his mind at ease. The breeze rustled the leaves above him, their silver-green shimmer dancing in the sunlight, their gentle sound a lullaby of the afternoon. He often visited the potter's workshop, where the smooth shapes of bowls and amphorae lined the wooden shelves. The soft scent of clay and the calm rhythm of the spinning wheel filled the room with quiet comfort. They would share stories, their words slow and peaceful, each tale unfolding like the gentle petals of a blooming flower. As the sun began its slow descent, Cashin would walk to the edge of the village, where the lantern keeper, Elias, moved with his steady, unhurried steps. Together, they would light the evening lamps, their soft flames flickering to life, their warm glow painting the stone streets with golden light. The village settled into the hush of evening, its sound soft, its breath calm. The distant crackle of hearth fires, the faint murmur of quiet conversation, the soft clink of amphorae, all drifted gently through the cool air. Cashin's home, small and familiar, welcomed him with its soft walls and the gentle scent of sea salt and warm bread. His evening meal was humble, a piece of fish, a slice of bread, a few olives, and a cup of cool water. He ate slowly, savoring the quiet, the soft flicker of his oil lamp, the soothing lullaby of the waves that lapped gently upon the shore. As the sky darkened, the stars shimmered like distant lanterns, their light soft and steady, their presence comforting and familiar. The moon's silver reflection danced upon the calm sea, its light guiding the gentle ripples toward the sand. Cashin would sit upon the smooth stones near his home, his gaze resting upon the horizon, his breath slow, his heart at ease. The rhythm of the sea, the soft glow of the lanterns, the peaceful hum of the village, each thread woven into the fabric of his life, each moment a gentle step upon the quiet path he followed. His body would settle into rest, his linen blanket warm upon his skin, his breath soft and steady, his mind gently adrift upon the calm waves of memory and dreams. The Roman Empire stretched far beyond his village, its stone roads leading to distant cities, its marble arches rising toward the sky. Yet here, in this quiet corner, it was the soft breath of the sea, the steady rhythm of the oars, and the warm glow of the lanterns that truly shaped the world. And so the story ends. The fisherman's boat rests upon the sand. The lanterns flicker gently in the cool breeze. The sea breathes softly against the shore. The village sleeps beneath the tender watch of the stars. The story, now complete, folds itself gently into the quiet night, resting in the peaceful hush of soft waves and calm hearts. Sleep well, traveler. The story rests.